Okay, I got some chocolate Yum Yums and some Tootsie Pops. And Rachel, you want a couple of these lemon ones? I don't want the lemon ones.
Well, I do like lemon. Yeah.
Okay,
Give me
you
those.
take the lemon ones? Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
some cherry scrums and some doodle bops. Oh, licorice!
Oh,
Ah,
that's
it's like black
disappointing.
licorice, too. It's gross.
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
Put those aside.
sweet! A Tootie Bar. I'm gonna get that
Ooh.
Get that Tootie Bar. Oh! Okay, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Rachel.
And we just got back from trick-or-treating as
That's
people
right.
in their mid-30s because this is Shelf Life. Ooh. A podcast where a brother and sister team go through all things pop culture, be that any genre, TVs, books, games, video games, I was about to say Power Rangers, professional wrestling, sports entertainment,
Stay
movies,
tuned.
whatever you else can think of. But today is a special day because we are doing our first annual tradition, what we hope to be a tradition here, and that is
We are doing the first Shelf Life Halloween special.
oh, yeah! Our Halloween special. Yes, folks at home, we are doing a Halloween spectacular, our Halloween podcast of horror.
Ooh, there we go. I like that.
This is the first one, the 2023 version. So what Rachel and I have decided to do since we got done trick or treating, we went to the Halloween parties. We've done all of the good stuff. Rachel carved a pumpkin. It looks wonderful.
Always. Thank you.
I accidentally dropped the pumpkin. It was fine. So it happens.
Yeah.
It was too heavy for my feeble arms. So anyway, Halloween candy could be a Munch Madness.
We should do.
Tournament.
We should.
We could just
That would
do.
be
We
fun.
could combine
Candy
them.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So put that on the list for one year, folks. So what we decided we were going to do for this Halloween special, Rachel's gonna pick something. I'm gonna pick
Yes, that's
something.
right.
We're both gonna enjoy it together on this All Hallows Eve. And then we're going to do what we do with everything else, where we're going to break it down and we are going to determine whether or not it belongs on your shelf.
Is this the Halloween shelf, or is this like the overarching shelf?
Oh, that's a hell of an idea. Now, I do think I went as Vince McMahon. So I do think that, well, actually, I went as whatever I said I was going as in the South Park episode, which I think was.
don't remember.
I think I said I was going as Chewbacca.
Of course you were. Chewbacca Vince McMahon. It's a combo.
He's wearing a tan sports coat.
Vince Baca? Vince Chewbacca?
Yeah, why not? I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, yeah, so I do like that idea, Rachel, because you can have an exclusive shelf that is just what you want to watch during Halloween, but the rest of the
Right.
year you're not really going to watch it, or it's not relevant, or it's not one of your favorites, but it's like a Halloween necessity versus
Right.
does this have standalone shelf life value? You enjoy it. You want it on your shelf. So that's
Right.
fair. I think that's fair. I think that's plausible.
Okay. Well, it just gives another level to what we could potentially put it at the end of this.
That's right. And we love not adhering to our own guidelines on our show. That's
Yeah, don't worry about it.
that's
we give you our thoughts, all right? Look.
it's our show. So we can
That's
do
right.
what we want.
Exactly.
It's our show.
Our show now.
So Rachel, what kind of things, if we're talking Halloween, what kind of things do you look for in your Halloween viewing, reading, your experience during the spooky season?
I tend to look for something that I like the scary stuff. I tend to try to find something that's like actually legitimately good and scary. So that's something I will look for. I like supernaturally type of things. There's a lot of different genres of scary out there, right? But then I like the wholesome stuff too, where it's like just kind of cute and family oriented, but still Halloween,
Mhm.
right? So that's always fun. I like a mixture. I like a mixture of things.
Oh, sure. If people have not figured out by now, or you're a new listener coming in for the Halloween treats, I think that, we obviously have kind of a diverse taste in different genres and different stuff. So I think that makes sense. Because I too am well. I'm someone that likes the supernaturally scary, but I have no problem. I just want something that has like that sense
Yes,
of the
the
season.
feeling.
Yeah,
It feels like fall.
it brings me
feels like Halloween.
Yeah, it brings in a sense of the time to, go outside and there's a crisp in the air and there's leaves on the ground and there's decorations.
There's a creep around the corner, There's like a
there's
scary guy in a mask.
There's a clown that's ready to kill you that's going to pop out of the sewer. All that stuff. All good things. All great things. I wouldn't say Halloween is my favorite holiday, but I do enjoy all of the pop culture around said holiday. So
yes, agreed.
that is true. Rachel's shoving some of the candy into her mouth. What is that?
Sorry.
What is that? I don't know.
I went with a chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just...
I thought it was
is
that a Milk Dud?
Yeah. It's still chocolate.
Can I have one?
I mean, sure.
I thought you
They're
were
really chewy. We
I thought
might
you were
not
gonna
want
say
to actually have these.
no.
No, they're mine. It's mine.
I've got dots. That's a candy you can't eat while podcasting.
No.
Dots
they
and
get
Juji
stuck
fruit.
in your teeth.
Here's my problem with Juji fruit.
Uh-oh.
No.
We got him on a rant, guys.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this in Munch Madness. Because I like Juji fruit. Now I'm going to say it. I like Juji fruit. But have any of you tried to eat it? It's impossible.
You like Juji fruit?
Not as much as dots. See, I feel
Would
like people...
I like Juji fruits? I don't even know.
It's a very good taste. It's a good taste.
It's got a good flavor.
It's not quite as good as Starburst, but it's a fine flavor. It's too damn chewy. It gets stuck in your teeth for seemingly days.
Oh, it's so awful.
Yeah,
when that happens.
big problem.
And
with that.
sometimes it hurts your jaw too because it's so chewy or it's so hard and chewy.
Yeah.
You know when they're like thick and hard, and then you're just like trying to chew it. And you're just like, this is too much work. Too much work for a candy.
It's a candy. It shouldn't be that much work. $90. Okay, we're getting close to the witching hour here. We probably should start our Halloween podcast of horror.
Oh yeah, I like this.
So Rachel, I'll bring out what I selected for this year's show for us to watch. Rachel's. Do you have to put the spooky coloring on? Okay, fine.
Yes.
She's got lights.
The fun lighting.
All right, fine. Okay, so I selected classic, according to IMDb, the best episode of this particular television show.
That's right.
So,
what is it? What did you bring?
I'm
excited.
Have picked and brought with. Then there was Shawn, an episode from Boy Meets World.
Oh, is it? Okay. Wait, I think okay.
So we'll get into it after the break, but this is an episode where someone kills off the cast of Boy Meets World one by one in a very Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer manner.
You make it sound excellent.
Yes.
With that description.
It was a classic staple of my childhood. I'm sure you also watched it with me when it was on. Rachel, what did you bring?
So I hope you're in for a treat tonight.
Is it a trick or a treat?
Oh my god, the jokes tonight are awful.
Well, I'm in a kind of a corny mood. Might say candy corn.
Candy corn. No.
Huh?
Jesus. I chose. Now this one was also a book, but I chose the TV show for us to go and watch.
I guess that will save me some time.
A little bit, potentially. But this one will give you goosebumps.
Oh.
It's actually, the classic TV show Goosebumps.
The one from the 90s. Not
the one from the 90s.
Yes, okay.
Right, yes. I mean, yes. The one from the 90s, it's The Haunted Mask.
Oh, so the first episode of
That's
Goosebumps,
right.
The Haunted Mask.
That's right.
We'll get into it again.
We're going to start it off that way.
Yeah,
I like it.
If you can't tell, folks, what we decided we would do for these is it's going to be some Shelf Life Selects series. So different things. We don't have to do Shelf Life Selects. They might be stuff where we're going to do the whole damn series or we're going to do the whole damn franchise or whatever. But we decided for this holiday special that we'll do a Shelf Life Selects episode. It doesn't have to be in the order that it came out. Obviously, the Boy Meets World episode is from like season 5. Rachel just happened to pick one that is the beginning of the Goosebumps franchise from the 90s. But if she wanted to pick something from further down the line, she could have. We have no rules on Halloween.
I mean, honestly, we could have probably picked something from like the Twilight Zone even, and we have
Yeah.
already talked about that one too.
Exactly. We could have picked the Twilight Zone, some spookier, more Halloween-y episode of the Twilight Zone, and that would have been fine too. And we might in future installments of the Halloween podcast of horror.
Absolutely. I was just thinking that we could have done something from like Are You Afraid of the Dark too?
We could have.
I like that one.
Or X-Files, or
Ooh, X-Files, yeah.
Yeah, any of those. Or Tales from the Crypt, or whatever. I'll say it again, I'm sure I'll repeat myself after the break when we get to your Haunted Mask. I remember that was on in prime time. It came on like as a special, and it was like a big deal because it was like, this like Goosebumps, this thing that I read is on prime time. So that is fun.
So it's very special.
Okay, I'm gonna go get myself some of this candy. Oh, no.
I'm gonna get myself a caramel apple.
Oh.
I would like a caramel apple.
I'm gonna get myself a slice of pumpkin pie. I guess that's more Thanksgiving, but pumpkin pie. Get your husband.
I probably made pumpkin pie out of the pumpkin that we carved.
Yeah, that's true. Your husband made a pumpkin pie out of the pumpkin, so that's what I'm gonna have.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so after the break, we will come back and we will begin our walkthroughs of our Halloween special, starting with Boy Meets World. Then there was Shawn. Was that spooky? Was that a spooky laugh, or was that more like
it was fine. It was
diabolical laugh? I can't.
It's kind of a both, but I think that's kind of like how that works. Yeah,
it's like a spooky laugh, like.
Now you just sound like the ghost from Scooby Doo.
This Halloween, get ready for a spine-tingling adventure like no other in Dia de los Muertos, a charming town adds a terrifying twist to its Halloween celebration.
This place is so weird. Why did we even come here?
Come on, Sarah. It's Halloween. Live a little.
You know, my abuela used to say that the shop was cursed or something.
Cursed? Really? That's just a bunch of superstitious nonsense.
Join a group of friends as they step into the ultimate Halloween adventure when they unwittingly unleash an ancient curse. The dead rise to play tricks and pranks on the living.
I'm live streaming this, folks. It's Halloween. It's Dia de los Muertos combined. Let's go viral.
Welcome to my family's Dia de los Muertos celebration. It's a night of honoring our ancestors and celebrating life. This is incredible, Lily. It's like a dream come true.
What was meant to be a night of treats turns into a night of tricks. Zombies in colorful costumes dance through the streets, but their fun soon takes a sinister turn.
Wait, are those people in costumes? Or...
Look at their makeup. These costumes are next level.
Guys, I think something's not right. Those zombies are acting way too real.
Let's stick together. It's probably just a town-wide prank.
The locket you speak of carries an ancient curse, mija.
Now our fearless friends must outwit the playful yet mischievous zombies while uncovering the dark secrets behind the curse. Can they save their town from becoming a permanent undead haven? Dia de los Muertos is a horror comedy that combines Halloween and Dia de los Muertos in a spooktacular way. Get ready for a night of scares and laughs like you've never seen before. Don't miss this thrilling Halloween adventure. Get your tickets now for Dia de los Muertos, and experience the most unforgettable night of tricks, treats, and terror. Coming to theaters this Halloween season. Are you brave enough to face the dead? Get your tickets today.
Okay, this isn't a prank. Those zombies are real, and they're not friendly.
Warning. Dia de los Muertos is not a real movie. Please do not attempt to purchase tickets for this movie, as it's not real, and there are none.
And...
Oh my god.
We're back. So Rachel and I decided to... we set up our podcasting materials near a graveyard to just make it even spookier. So
Yeah,
we
that's-
have
It's always the special way to do these things.
yeah, all the cords and plugs are going from here to the car, so that's good. That'll
It's totally safe. I'm not afraid at all.
yeah, it's fine.
Got
I
that
mean,
ambiance. You can hear the crickets chirping.
I do have a feeling that the battery's gonna die and we're gonna have to walk back, but it'll be fine. I can whistle through a graveyard all I want.
We did pick a graveyard that's really far away from like
Yeah,
civilization.
why
too.
did we do that?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
this one's
well.
really pretty though. I mean, look at these tombstones. They're like
Yeah.
old.
That mausoleum looks pretty good.
Cool.
And it comes with those like creepy guys that are walking really slow in the background too. Do you see those guys?
I didn't see them before, but I see them now.
Well, we'll just keep an eye on them. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah. As long as they keep their distance.
So anyway, we're so corny on this episode. So anyway, we are back to discuss, and then there was Shawn. Episode number... what
Episode
number?
17 of season 5.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Yes. It debuted on February 27th, 1998. Not exactly a Halloween date. However, folks at home, before you judge me on my selection, it
was based on a Halloween movie.
It's kind of it should have been a Halloween special. It's pretty.
It was based on a Halloween movie.
Yeah, on two,
Like-
at least two. So this
At
was
least.
directed by Jeff McCracken and written by Michael Jacobs, April Kelly, and Jeff Minnell. I don't think we'll do a whole lot of background about Boy Meets World. We'll do that. We'll save that for if we do a Shelf Life Selects with Boy Meets World in it, and we can talk about the production and all of that bullshit.
Yeah.
We're just
I think
just gonna
that's fair.
we're just doing the
This is
episode.
the fun stuff today.
That's right. So
Even though that also is fun stuff.
let's get right into it. So this is season 5 of Boy Meets World, which means that it goes, when this boy meets world, boy meets world, wandering down this road that we call life. Now, Rachel,
right.
I remember you and
classic.
I would make fun of that constantly growing up.
Yes,
we
we
would.
did.
We would sing that song randomly.
Always. I don't know why.
Because
I don't know why.
Because it's
It's
so.
so. I guess it also sounds really corny.
It's so of the time. Everything about this
It's very
episode
true.
is of the time. It really,
So much.
like,
Clothing, the hair.
oh my
the
god.
sound.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm sure we're going to get into all of that. Because it really is. So we start the episode in Mr. Feeney's classroom. Feeny! Mr. Feeny!
Feeney.
This is before he did that.
That's later.
Because that's like
so
that's like
much
the
later.
end of the
That's
series.
what I was gonna say. Yeah, he's like out of college. The other ones are in college when that happens. These guys are in high school.
Yes,
That's where we're
th-
at.
Let's set the scene. Let's tell you where
Seniors in
we're
high
at.
school.
Let's tell you where we're at as far as the Boy Meets World canonically, where we are canonically in Boy Meets World. They're seniors in high school.
Right.
Jack is established as Shawn's half brother, and
Right.
he's living with Jack and Eric. So Jack, Eric, and Shawn are all roommates,
Yes.
and Jack and Eric are in college.
right.
And
And they have like a loft. Well, it's not even a loft. It's a weird apartment with weird like.
it's an
layers to it.
impossible
It's an impossible
college apartment. It's a TV apartment. Now we do find
It's
out
very TV apartment.
Jack's stepdad is rich.
Right.
So
So it makes more sense why they have an apartment like this.
it makes a little bit more sense because like that other Halloween possibility.
There's
that we could've
another
done.
show that we could be doing.
Yeah.
Look.
And it is established, not necessarily in any of the dialogue, but Angela and Shawn are not dating at this point. I think that was pretty clear.
Angela and Shawn are kind of flirting at this point.
I guess so. They're clearly not dating. I don't
They're
think.
clearly not dating.
Nothing in this
within
episode. But I don't know if that means that they were dating and now have broken up.
They're always on
'Cause
again,
they-
off again. It's hard
Yeah,
to tell.
and this might be in that period of time because like Shawn went through like a thing where he was like, I remember this vividly because I grew up watching this television program where Shawn would go on a date every Friday night with a different girl, and then he found Angela and he stopped. He actually liked Angela.
Sure.
Then I think they broke up because she was like afraid that he was too much of a player or some shit. I can't remember.
I think that might be a part of it. I don't
Folks at-
remember fully.
Folks at home, correct me if I'm wrong, because I
Yep.
don't fucking remember.
I think it's kind of like either in a flirtation stage or they've maybe gone on a date, or maybe it's like right before that happens.
Yes.
It's somewhere in that little zone.
And the most important thing to remember about this episode, because it's the catalyst for everything that happens, is that Corey and Topanga have broken up.
Yeah.
No!
Are they on a break or they break up? I think they broke up, right?
Well, according to Shawn, they're on a trial separation. They're not divorced, Kenny.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I think they broke up.
I think they broke up.
I don't remember why they broke up.
I don't know.
remember
Should
what
we
the
look this? Should I look
circumstances
it up quick?
are. Yeah, let's look it up. What the
Should
hell?
I find the circumstances, because it's something about backstabbing, and
I-
that comes.
okay.
We'll come. That comes
I
later.
wondered, because there is a point where they break up because Topanga's parents get divorced, and then she's like, "I don't even believe in love anymore." And so
I remember
they break
that.
up.
And then she pushes him to like kiss another girl, and then they break up again.
Is that at the
There's like a
that's
lot
the
of
ski
stupid
resort
shit.
one?
That's the ski resort one.
Yeah,
That one's dumb. That one
that
pissed
one's on.
me off.
That
I
one's
was
on
like,
the
what
list.
the
We're gonna watch
hell?
that so that
That
we can
whole
watch
episode
your
was
rage.
stupid.
We're put that on the list, folks. We're gonna watch that
All right,
one
let's see.
just to piss Rachel off. That girl was
Season
cuter, by the
5.
way. The girl from the ski
Of
resort.
course she was. Wow. I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to figure out how Corey Matthews, this curly-headed fuck, gets all this ass. Corey is one of the
He
ugliest.
kind of is. He's a bit of a tool.
You want to talk about like the most average, bland fucks on the planet? Corey Matthews.
I think everybody had a crush on Eric. Eric
Eric
and
and Shawn.
Sean.
And then you throw Jack in
Right?
there. Why not?
Yeah. Well, Jack is fine.
People had a crush on Topanga.
I think Eric
could
was
never
way
get,
more cute. Like he was way
Yeah.
cuter than everybody else.
I could never
But
get
he was
away with.
dumb as a doorknob. So.
But he was dumb at the beginning. At this point, he's going through his jerk ass Eric phase,
also
where
yes.
he's just becoming Peter Griffin levels of stupid.
Oh my god, horrible. They just made him stupider and stupider. Until then he became kind of funny again at the end.
Eric, of course, played by Will Friedle, who we will know as Batman Beyond, and he plays the sidekick in.
Wait, I think it is
Impossible?
the stupid ski resort episode that I'm talking about that they broke up.
So they broke up because of the ski resort?
I think it is, because it's season 5.
Oh. Wow. How serendipitous.
Stupid. That whole thing was so dumb.
I thought you should have went for it. You should have went for that girl.
He did. That was like the whole thing. It was like some I don't. It was so
It was
dumb.
stupid. It was like she encouraged him to kiss the girl. He kissed the girl, and then she got mad at him for kissing the girl. It's like
Because he
something
wasn't supposed
stupid
to
like
kiss
that.
the girl because she was like, you weren't supposed to do that because you were supposed to know that like that was a dumb thing.
Yeah,
Like
it
why
was
would you do
something
that
like
when
that.
we're
It
in a
was
relationship?
so high school.
It was oh my
dumb
god,
shit.
the drama, the
Yeah.
stupid drama of it, the whole thing.
That's what Boy Meets World's all about.
I'm like looking, yeah, because he resorts to drinking and stuff. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out.
What?
That's what it
Oh, I
says.
remember that episode. Yeah. Because, like, Shawn becomes an angry drunk and he's gonna, like, beat Angela or something.
I'm looking at, apparently there's a Boy Meets Wiki. That's really what it says.
I didn't look at that. I should have looked at Boy Meets Wiki. I bet there would have been a lot of info in that.
Say their relationships is strong until episode Heartbreak Corey, when Corey kisses another girl, went on vacation at a ski lodge with Topanga and lies.
Seeing that there's a Boy Meets World Wiki. And look,
Boy Meets Wiki.
God bless you if you're out there and you're doing the Boy Meets Wiki. Because this is clearly helping us solve a lot of
Oh yeah.
lot of things. But what's wrong with you?
Well, you know what? It probably only exists because of the Girl Meets World now that is like newer, you know, and
Possibly. And the
I would
strangest thing
assume.
about it, they don't have a page on this episode.
that's weird.
Oh wait, no, there it is. Because they put it
Oh.
under A for and. I'm looking under the T for there. You know, like, should be. Now that we have that all out of the way and all of that established, we can get into it. So we go into Mr. Feeney's room. Mr. Feeney, of course, played by the incomparable and wonderful, beautiful William Daniels. This is one
He's
of
the
most
best actor in the entire
Oh,
thing.
by-
Besides, what's his name's dad who comes in for a wrestling episode?
Oh, Vader? Yeah.
Yes, Vader.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Vader, yeah. You know what? Put all 3 of those on the list too, because Jesus Christ. I think that one might unironically go on the shelf for me. Just out of pure joy that I get watching that
Just
episode.
Pure joy.
Yes, so we're in Mr. Feeney's classroom. I'm going to say Shawn and Corey a lot. I'm probably going to get their names mixed up. So Corey has moved to Shawn's seat in the classroom to have a buffer between himself and Topanga because he cannot bear to sit next to Topanga after this breakup.
Yeah.
And Shawn says that there's a lot of ramifications of him sitting there. And Feeney goes, ramifications. Nice word, Jughead. Now, Shawn's reply is, see, now Feeney knows I'm in the class. I thought it was going to be, see, now Feeney's even getting one up on me. Or something like that.
Oh, that would have been so much better. Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm sitting in your spot where, like, you get made fun of all the time, and now I'm going to get made fun of all the time.
It's like, now I'm going to become you, Corey. This is not okay.
Yeah, you curly-haired bastard. I don't like Corey. I don't think I ever liked Corey. Corey's the worst part of this show.
Corey is annoying.
Yes.
He's annoys me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I have to enunciate annoying, because that's how annoying he is. He's worse than, what's Dingus? Mingus.
Mingus?
Mingus.
Mingus.
Who is supposed to be the annoying one.
Poor little Minkus.
Minkus! I called him Mingus, because I called him Dingus.
I've been calling him Mingus. I've been making an idiot out of myself.
Oops.
Corey says that if he sat in that spot, he could still smell her hair, see her sweater go up when she raises her hand, and Shawn's like,
that got
right,
Shawn excited.
Yeah, Shawn's like, all right, I suppose. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that he thinks he
You
can
get to
see
see
the
skin.
ass? Okay.
Little skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In high school, you take what you can get.
You gotta remember, this is back when, like, you wore, like, the hip huggers.
Yeah, talk about the fashion, Rachel. All I saw was a lot of oversized sweatshirts.
Yeah, it's like it's a fall episode. Is it in the fall? You think?
I don't
'Cause
know
they're
what
all wearing
time
like
this
the
is supposed
oversized
to
sweaters.
be in. It came out in February. It's clearly
Well, maybe it's just
invoking
cold, so maybe it is
Halloween.
February.
Yeah.
Maybe it is February there because they're just wearing sweaters. So they're wearing like the big sweaters and then like the really tight pants. Eric's
The guys are
I'm
wearing
sorry.
pants that are like
Shawn's pants are ridiculous. They're like so poofy baggy. And then they're like up to it on his waist, which is really weird.
yeah, it makes him look skinny.
He's got the chain, he's
as
got like the
hell.
plaid. Yeah, he looks really odd.
He looks like he weighs 100 pounds soaking wet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Shawn reiterates that he is only sitting there, but he's not putting himself between the two of them or something like that. And then
He doesn't want to be in the middle of it, but he'll put himself between them.
Okay, thank you.
That's what it was.
Thank you. And then Kenny, some guy that we only ever see in this episode, I'm fairly certain, looks like he's straight out of a Scream movie because he's got.
I thought he looked like Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, it was like that, and then he looks like the villain's brother from High School Musical because he's got like the little.
Yes. It's not Sharpay. It's the other one.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
Sharpay.
It's Sharpay's.
I was
yeah,
too
the
old
not
for that,
Sharpay
but
of
yeah,
the two.
Yeah, the not Sharpay. Folks, we're gonna get so many fucking comments about that name.
I wasn't really into High School
I was too
Musical.
old. I'm sorry. I mean, we're
But-
we're talking about Boy Meets World with nostalgia goggles on,
Very
so
true.
this is when we were. So Kenny asks Topanga for her big pencil.
And
Now-
these were so big when I was in school. Everybody had a big pencil, and it's not a joke. They were on keychains, so they were like attached to your book bags. and
These
I was making
things
me laugh.
are absurd.
I had a Scooby Doo one.
How in the fuck can you possibly write with this thing?
It's very uncomfortable. I remember it being very uncomfortable to actually write with. It was more like just the fun.
Just
I
to
have a big pencil.
I have
Yeah.
I have a big pencil.
It's kind
So-
of like if somebody asks you for a pencil and then you give them a big one, like as a joke.
Okay. So he specifically asked Topanga for a pencil. Now
for
Shawn,
a big pencil.
for a big pencil, which I don't think is innuendo. I think it's like you're saying, it's literally because she has a big pencil. I didn't know as
Yes.
viewers if we were supposed to take it as innuendo until we see that she actually literally has this giant
big
pencil. Shawn flips out about it, and he's like, "Hey, they're divorced. They're not. Or no. They're not divorced. This is just a trial separation." And don't think that I don't know what asking for a pencil means, because I am Shawn Hunter, and I have asked for 1,000,000 pencils. Because, like, I think
It could be flirty. It could be flirty.
It absolutely could.
Because it's your opening to talk to somebody, right? Go,
100%.
hey, I forgot my pencil. Could you get me one? And then it's like, oh,
Yes.
hey, and then it opens up dialogue.
Absolutely. It's like asking someone for what day it is.
September?
October 3rd?
October 3rd.
Yeah,
It's
I think it's
October
October 3rd. People either get that one or they don't. Folks at home, if you're listening to this while you're in class, just take out the earbud. You should be listening to your professor anyway. Turn to the cute girl or guy to the left or right of you. Just ask for a pencil. It's a good opening.
It's a good opening.
Yeah, I'm trying to put
I
people
would assume
together.
you sat yourself next to somebody that you would be interested in, not just like some rando that's
Some
next to
rando,
you.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to bring people together. That's what Halloween's all about, Rachel.
You could also make a friend that way.
Yes, and the more friends you can make, the more pencils you can borrow.
Now that's a life lesson right there.
Shelf life lessons. So Angela is like, why is Shawn so obsessed with the two of you? And I don't think anybody understands this. And yes, Shawn is fucking crazy in this
he's
episode.
crazy obsessed.
Like,
yeah.
he is obsessed with his best friend getting Topanga as a girlfriend. And or vice versa, because I mean he's friends with Topanga. This is disturbing. This is
that's
some
the problem.
This is some
That is the
serial
problem,
killer
right?
shit.
That is the problem, though, because they are like a group, and then when somebody in the group starts dating another person in the group, there could be a lot of problems that come with this, especially if they do break up.
You know, you're actually making some decent points, because I was
so
just
sorry.
thinking like this man's just fucking crazy.
No,
But
he
I think,
also is just fucking crazy.
but
But
I see your point where like he might have to choose sides or something like that. Is that kind of what you're saying? Because it's like they're all
yeah, but I think
close?
it's obvious he'd pick Corey. But like,
Yeah. For
because
my,
they when they were kids, Topanga was a nutcase too.
Topanga was absolutely
So-
nuts. Yeah. Yeah, the canon doesn't quite work throughout the seasons of Boy Meets World. I'll say this about my general life and my friends that might be listening to this. I didn't give a flying fuck who they were dating or when they broke up with people. Because why do I care? Half the time, they would bring the person along as the third wheel versus.
That's very
like,
true.
the
They
other
end up
way.
being the third. Yeah.
Eventually, I would say like, all right, well, this person kind of sucks, but they'll break up and they'll get over it. And eventually, they found people that were perfectly good to be around.
Perfectly
that they,
decent.
Yeah, that they.
Look,
were
I know
able
you're
to marry.
listening. I'm gonna call them decent.
Yeah, I know you're listening. I know you're subscribed. So anyway, Shawn says he knows what he's asking for, and he'll stab that pencil through his heart if he asks again.
I kind of wish.
Yes, I know.
Would
I know. It's
have been better.
It's foreshadowing, but it's not perfect foreshadowing.
It's not perfect, but it's so close.
The laugh track is almost disturbing to hear because I wasn't expecting it. I don't like stuff with laugh tracks in it, minus Seinfeld, and that is like a live audience.
It's
So
a true live audience. At
here,
that one.
and most of the stuff that I watch or whatever doesn't have a laugh track in it. So hearing the laugh track was so like eye rolling. You know what I mean?
Because they're kind of like forcing it.
It's
It's not as bad as like nowadays sitcoms. Sometimes you're like, why do they even bother? Like, why do they do a laugh track
do
just
a laugh
then?
track? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like usually it feels then so forced that it's like this isn't even funny. At least back then it was kind of like just
Well,
cringy
it was the
funny.
norm. Like
Sure.
we're saying, this is very of its time. You're getting a very good glimpse of Friday night television in 1998,
Right.
which makes sense. I mean, you and I probably watched this live because
Oh, probably.
I don't remember when Mom's schedule shifted around or when she stopped doing this, but she worked a lot of Friday nights when you and I were little kids. So it would be you, me, and Dad, which usually meant pizza, a video game, and TGIF. And that's what this was.
We'd run to a game and a movie.
Game or movie. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Shawn starts more drama, and Corey and Topanga start going back and forth. They're all standing up and yelling at each other now. And Corey tells Kenny, "Give me that pencil." And Kenny's like, "I don't have one." And I genuinely laughed at that.
I loved that line.
That was actually a pretty good joke because he's like,
was
"Yeah,
a clever
I
one.
wanted one and I don't have one." This causes Mr. Feeney to snap on all of them, and
Which I'm
tells
surprised
them-
he didn't snap before this.
Yeah, because like, come on, Feeney, get a hold of this classroom.
It's
Yeah.
like less than the amount of normal kids in a classroom, and so half of
There's
them are
like
being
12
like
people in there.
awful.
Yeah.
Yes.
He will not let his students be more interested in the romantic goings-on than it is with whatever the hell he's teaching. Which again,
Which again, good luck.
hilarious line.
Because we don't know what he's teaching. Because it has chapters of some book on the board, and then he just keeps asking for something with Nebraska. And I'm like, what the hell do you want them to say?
Yes,
I need to know.
That's a recurring thing, and it's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like he's just coming up with random things. Yeah.
Yes.
He has like a Socratic seminar of some kind, I feel like.
It's nuts.
So he moves them apart, and he moves Corey out to one side, and he moves Topanga to another side.
Which, fair enough. You know what? Sometimes you gotta do that.
Do you think that Mr. Turner would have been better taking care of this situation than Mr. Feeney? I think at this point they killed Mr. Turner.
Oh, it's like Mr. Turner was before this?
I think it has to be, because Shawn's already living with Jack, and he was living with Mr. Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Which also, that sounds weird, but yeah.
Living with Mr. Turner?
Yeah, like all of a sudden I
That'll
forgot
be
that was a thing.
That could be a new spin-off of Girl Meets World, Living with Mr. Turner.
Mr. Feeney's like, I'm not having it. This is just stupid teenage drama. Detention. I'm not dealing with it, right?
Detention?
I feel like Mr. Turner would probably do this thing where he'd like sit them down and talk to them and have like a little tete-a-tete type of thing.
With that mullet of his. That beautiful mullet.
With his mullet.
He was pulling all sorts of 90s ass too with that,
he
gross teacher mullet.
Yeah, but he was the cool teacher with the motorcycle.
Oh, that's true. He did have that motorcycle. Which was his downfall in the end.
I think it was. Yeah. I think it was.
One more crazy interruption, and all of you nuts will be in detention, says Mr. Feeney. And then, a creepy janitor that I don't know if we've ever seen before or since comes in, and there's creepy music playing, and he points at them.
I love it.
And then Feeney
They make him so pale.
Feeney just gives up, and he's like, well, then I guess they're all just getting detention. Like,
What
did they do?
Didn't even do it. They didn't even do it. He's just like, that's it. Everybody gets attention.
Can you imagine just being a regular person in this class that's not one of these 5
Do you
people?
look at them in the background? Because they do look like, oh my god, not again. Like, that is how they look. The main characters are being annoying again.
It's why I sympathize a lot with Kenny, because he's like, I just asked for a pencil. And it's like all the other people in class are like, look, I just need to pass the SATs so I can get out of this fucking school.
Yes.
I just think that would be hilarious to, like, do one, like, spin-off with, like, not the main character and just be talking about, like, how annoying all these fucking people are.
I feel like something has done that before. Where you just
has
follow a
to.
side character and you see the other main characters doing crazy shit in the background, but we're just following a normal person doing their normal day. And it's like, it sounds hilarious, and I love it, and I want it now.
Yeah. So folks at home, get on that, please. Corey makes fun of Mr. Feeney while he can hear him. And Feeney's like, you know, if you're going to mock someone, maybe not do it to their face. And Corey's like,
he also does like a Sean Connery to like make fun of him. Too.
Yeah, he's like, he does like one of the. He does like a Mr. Howell. He's like, oh yeah.
Oh, maybe it is Mr. Howell. That's what it is. Is there a Gilligan's Island Halloween special?
I'm sure there is. Folks at home, let us know if there is, and if we should do it. And Corey's response is that he's not in his regular seat. Fair enough. Feeney...
So he just doesn't act like himself with his ramen hair.
Yeah. Feeney says he's going to leave the room. And he's going to leave them alone, despite putting them into detention. I thought this seemed out of place. And I guess based on what we find out later, it makes sense. Because I was like, why would you, as the teacher, who put them in detention, leave them alone, unsupervised, in this room?
I also wonder if he's just going to go to the bathroom and come back.
That's true.
Maybe he's not even supposed to be like gone for the whole hour and a half or
Mr.
whatever.
Hunter, Mr. Matthews, I have the privilege of taking a shit. You have the privilege of sitting here for an hour and a half. I don't know why my Mr. Feeney is also a Malcolm McDowell impression.
I don't know.
Whatever. Or Ian McDowell, whatever. So all Kenny wanted was a pencil, and they're like, "Hey, Kenny, you're lucky to even be here." And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, like I'm not
I
lucky
like
to be
the
here.
I like those little jokes.
Kenny's a great character.
They all realize that
Kenny's the best side character
Yeah.
here.
I kind of wish, just for pop culture reference, that he was wearing a red shirt. That would have made
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have made it
Or
even more
orange as
appropriate.
well.
Shawn is going to get his cheese product from his locker.
I was gonna say, is it a can of cheese? It's gotta be Cheese Whiz because
I think it's Cheese Whiz.
It's gotta be Cheese Whiz.
It's 1998.
It's
Cheese Whiz is all the
crackers.
rage. Yeah. Yeah.
Or like those little sandwich cookies, like the little sandwich crackers with like peanut butter in the middle.
I
with their
still
cheese.
eat those.
I mean,
great.
yeah, I make those with like actual crackers. I'll make them.
A good a Lunchable without that disgusting meat.
Yeah.
That meat was
A
disgusting.
pizza Lunchable.
Oh no, a pizza Lunchable was the worst thing ever. There were kids that would like swear by those pizza Lunchables, and it was like, this is disgusting. You're eating like paste and dough that hasn't been cooked.
I mean, that is called a pizza. I mean, the pizza has been cooked, but I'm just saying.
All right, Rachel. Well, whatever. And he says that Feeney locked them in. Corey says that he can't do that. It's against the Geneva Detention Convention. That's a corny joke. Perfect for Corey Matthews. The janitor looks at them.
It is true, yeah.
He looks at them creepily again. Shawn asks...
He looks at them really creepily.
Yeah,
Because
kind of
he's
like...
just like, it looks like he's sizing them up at first.
Yes. Shawn asks if he has the key, and he shows them he has all the keys. He's the
He also
janitor.
calls him Giggles.
Yeah, why did he call him Giggles? Is because
Is it
he's looking
Giggles
at him
the
really
clown?
seriously?
Isn't Giggles the clown a murderer?
Giggles the clown?
Yeah, isn't there like a Giggles the clown like murderer or something?
That I am not aware of.
Okay, never mind. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
But he references a lot of movies in this, so I kept thinking, well, maybe Giggles the clown is like from a movie, or like it's just a joke, or I don't know.
I just figured it was because he was looking very serious. So then he was making fun of him as like not having a positive disposition.
Potentially,
if you will.
yeah, maybe. But anyways, he asks for the key.
Yeah, and he smiles and walks away. He doesn't give him the key. As this is happening, they're getting creeped out, I guess, by the janitor. It seems like they escalate to getting creeped out a little too quickly.
They do escalate too quickly. They were
Nothing-
left there alone
nothing
and a
happened.
creepy janitor. Like,
Yeah.
big deal.
Nothing really happened until the map on the board rolls up, and in blood is written, "No one gets out alive." And then they're
Yep.
all freaked out, and Angela does a horror
Beautiful
queen scream.
She does a really
Scream
good job
queen.
screaming.
Yeah, she's a good scream queen. But it does seem to all escalate quickly. Shawn speculates that it's got to be Feeney, and it's got to be Feeney trying to teach them a lesson because detention's not going to do it anymore. They're too old, so now they have to do something. And they're like, "Well, what is the lesson?" And Shawn says, "Pay attention or die." Or maybe Corey says that, but one of them say it's pay attention or die.
I kind of wish there was like something else happening in the background or like on the posters or something that would like make it make a little bit more sense that this was like something that Feeney might do. Like, oh wait, this thing came out, or the
A couple
school drama
more-
club is putting on a play or something that's similar to this, so he's like using it as a tool that
Yeah.
would make it make more sense.
Yes,
But
yes. But that,
it's just like, oh,
but what you're thinking of is like good, solid
Story?
Yeah, and this is Boy Meets World, so we're not.
right, yeah. I'm
There's a
sorry.
limit. There's a limit. I agree with you, though. I think that if there was a little bit of like a little bit more escalation, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
some details, and maybe there are, but I didn't see too much.
Maybe they could have done like a
watching
note
it.
or something.
Yeah,
and, like,
it kind of gets to the point where
he
then-
mentions the fact like somebody's watching you. They could
Mhm.
have added a little bit of extra with that.
Mhm. Well, because as Feeney leaves, he says something like, "Don't think just because I'm not here, I can't see everything that's going on," or something like that.
Or
Yeah.
like that doesn't mean somebody's not watching. I
Yeah.
think or something like that. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, there's somebody's like creeping on you, and they could have had way more stuff happening that it was like, wait, did I see something? Or
Yeah,
out of the corner of their eye. But it does escalate very quickly.
very quickly. It's escalated very quickly. So Topanga is yelling at Corey, and Corey says, "You've given up your right to attack me." So they're arguing like a married couple.
A divorced married couple.
That's right. Shawn becomes Casey from the faculty at this point, which, by the way, folks, if you're looking for another Halloween episode, the faculty, I think, kind of fits.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so you go back in the
Yeah.
archives. Our audio isn't great yet, because one of your podcast hosts did not own a microphone yet. So they point out Kenny as the first victim, and he's like, why is it going to be me? And they're like, well, it's not going to be us. And they all start laughing.
main
I
characters.
liked that. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, it's good.
There's a thumping outside the door that sounds like heartbeats.
The beating of the human heart.
And Shawn says something horrible's about to happen. And as he says this, the door opens and Jack and Eric are on the other side.
Yes. Eric making a South Park reference. Mr. Hanky.
Yes.
Heidi ho.
Yes. So it puts us
Yeah.
right where we need to be. Folks at home,
Beautiful.
Mr. Hanky might be coming out soon if you're listening to this when we drop the episode. If you didn't, then
That's
it's been
right.
out for a while. But Eric does a Mr. Hanky, which puts you right there. We know exactly where we are because they're doing
Yep.
South Park references and specifically Mr. Hanky references
Yes.
in this episode. So they say that they were playing hoops. They wanted to just go to the high school, like shoot some hoops. And they asked Jack if anything was weird. And he's like, well, actually, it's a little creepy out there. There's nobody else in the school. The only thing that was there was the janitor was around. So
Right.
it's like kind of spooky because there's nobody else around.
Which, I mean, a high school that is empty, it is kind of creepy. It's just a
Yes.
big building. You don't know what could be around a corner.
That's
And it's quiet. It's not
Fair.
like that creepy quiet.
because it's like because there's a lot of hollowness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of goes for like a lot of places. Like I've never like
yeah.
felt creepy at work, and I work late quite a bit, and so I'm the only one there. But it doesn't. I don't think I've ever like felt like ooh, it's like eerie. But I do get your point about like a school.
But like that heavy silence.
Yes,
Sometimes gets
because
a little like off-putting.
yes, the higher ceilings and stuff at a school probably does it a lot too. I think it's Eric that says, "Oh, and then there was also blood coming out of the showers."
Yes.
So-
yeah.
Yes,
That's
so,
a thing.
which makes you think that somebody rigged up the blood to come out of the showers, of course.
Sure. Or they're just having really rust issues. It looks like blood.
Yeah, maybe
There's a lot of plumbing issues at
maybe
the school.
maybe John Adams High just has a lot of problems, and there's a lot of rust. That's very possible.
There's a lot of explanations for these things.
Mhm.
They're not
A
going
lot
for
of
it.
plausible explanations. Shawn says that this is straight out of that horror classic, Blood in the Showers. So he's
I love the really stupid movie titles.
yes. Well, and this is where we're getting into the Scream parody as well,
Right.
because
yes.
he's being the Jamie Kennedy character from
Absolutely.
Scream by pointing out all of the horror tropes and like what you're supposed to do and not do as well.
Yes.
So like I say Casey from the faculty, but it's really supposed to be Jamie Kennedy's character from Scream, I
Right.
think.
We just haven't done Scream yet.
Yeah, so I have to reference something that is on the shelf. This is the work of a diabolical master villain. And Corey goes, Feeney. And Shawn goes, absolutely Feeney. So they're
Yeah.
like, they truly believe that it has to be Feeney. I like that Feeney
Right.
is the red herring this whole time.
Well, because he did leave, right? And he could be causing things to happen. He could have told the janitor the weird, creepy things. He
Mhm.
could have made he already wrote the stuff on the board and
Mhm.
rigged it so it would go up. Like all of that kind of stuff. He's not there. So the person not there is always the person that did it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Kenny wishes that they'd stop saying that he's gonna be the next one to die. I like that he puts himself up against the wall. He's like, I really wish you guys would stop saying that. And
yes.
Angela says that it's Dr. Feeney's House of Terror, which I really wish would have been either the name
That's
of this
such a-
episode or a
Yes.
different episode of this show.
Oh, that would have been even better, like a callback, and they call it Mr. Feeney's House of Terrors, or he like has a haunted house and he calls it that. Like
Mhm.
that would have been great.
Would have
too.
been pretty great. Would have
Oh.
been pretty great.
Writing though, you know.
Yep. Get us there, folks. Just write that script. We can read it. It's fine. So Kenny gets kind of pissed at this point because he's like, they keep saying I'm going to die and all this stuff. So Kenny's like, you know what? If I want to borrow a pencil from your friend's ex-girlfriend, I will. I can. And what are you going to do about it? And as he
Right.
says that, the lights go out.
The lights go out, but we get to see that somebody did turn them off.
Yes, we see a gloved hand turn them off.
Right.
And when they come back on, Angela does another scream.
Yes.
And that's
beautifully
because
done.
there is a pencil in Kenny's head. Apparently, someone asked him if he wanted to see a magic trick.
yeah, apparently, because it's just right there,
They did the Joker bit before
straight
the Dark
through
Knight.
the head. By the way.
Well, you got that big pencil.
yes, it is a big pencil. That is a hell
I don't know
of a
what he
shot.
did to be able to get it through the head like that.
I don't know, like a slingshot? Like, you really have to, like, put some force into it.
Probably could do a Mythbusters on this. I think if you got like an air gun or something, maybe you
Ooh,
could
like
get
like a potato gun.
like with
Think
enough
about
force,
a potato gun. Yeah.
enough sharpness on that. Like, Topanga Lawrence is keeping a sharp pencil too.
Oh, hell yeah.
But they did the Joker bit before The Dark Knight. I was shocked.
They really did. Kevin loved this part because I remembered a line, and I haven't watched this since we were kids.
It's a good line. You want to say it, Rachel?
I'll always remember he was that tall.
Oh my gosh! They killed Kenny!
But before it happened, I was just like, now we'll remember how tall he is. He was.
Yeah, so Corey walks over and Kenny's body like slumps on the wall dead, and it leaves a
And instead
lead
of like
trail.
a bloodline,
Yeah.
it does a lead trail.
Because they can't do a blood trail on ABC in the 90s. And
Right.
Corey goes, we'll always remember he was this tall.
This tall.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke, and for some reason, it stuck with me because I remembered it like I knew it was coming.
And Eric goes, oh my god, they killed Kenny. The whole reason his name was Kenny, they got to do
Yep.
the joke. They run out into the hallway, and then some ragtime music plays, doing like, "Da, da, da, you're gonna die, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do."
Yeah,
As the lights are
flashing
flickering on and off, so like they're all freaking out. Eric lost his basketball, but Jack found it, so Eric's okay.
yeah. It's
It's
I
just
mean,
because
kind of-
Eric's
it's
a
like
dipshit.
it's a dipshit, but maybe it is kind of comforting because now he's in a scary situation. So it's like his connection.
He loses
type
that
of
basketball
thing.
at some point during this episode. I'm fairly certain.
Oh, probably. It's just it always reminds me of like Jack with the jar of dirt. It's just like a comforting thing to have with you.
Yes, that's fair. They check to see if they can get out of the building, but everything is locked and chained.
Very Scooby-Doo-esque, like running through the
Yeah,
halls.
you're right. It is very Scooby-Doo-esque. I did not think of that. You're right.
It would
does
have
that.
been better if they had like the
Oh, if they-
murderer running behind them
Oh,
too, and
yeah.
like they just didn't notice him. Like
That would have made maybe that would have been too goofy because like
I guess, yeah.
if you're a kid watching this, you could get kind of spooked by it.
It
It's
used
got
to
a
scare me.
good little
I had like jump
atmosphere.
scare, like yeah. But you have to keep the goofy side
'Cause
just so that
it's-
the kids don't freak out over it.
and because it's Boy Meets World. Shawn says like there's going to be a shrouded figure of some kind, and none of us are going to see it because he's going to be behind us. So they all turn around to look, and because they all turned around, the shrouded figure just goes right in front of them
That's right.
where they weren't because they turned around. That's a good bit. I do like
It's
that.
a very good bit. Yes.
The lights and ragtime come back, and Feeney is standing there. He's standing still and he's not moving. He's in his like Mr. Feeney serious face, like
Oh yeah, very. Like stoic Feeney with his
Mhm.
hands crossed and everything. Yes.
So then Corey walks up to him and is like, Mr. Feeney, I gotta hand it to you this time. Killing Kenny, obvious choice. But the pencil, George, that was genius. I don't know why he says it like an old comedian either. He's like, oh, George, that was a
He's
genius
Corey
move.
Matthews.
Gotcha, 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 gotcha.
he's just that's his bit. That's what he does, I guess.
I mean, he's... God bless. Is it Fred Savage or Ben Savage that's playing Corey Matthews? Whichever one it is. I mean, he made
The Savage.
Yeah, whichever Savage is doing this, he made a living, and he'll forever get to
Ben.
live off of being Ben Savage as Corey Matthews. I guess all of them, really.
Oh, they're trapped. That's who they are.
So it turns out that Feeney just falls over with he's got scissors in his back, so they
Which
killed
did call
Feeney.
back because he was like swinging them around earlier or something.
Right. He was doing something with the scissors earlier.
Right.
So they freak out and they run. Eric does, oh my god, they killed Feeney, which I like.
So again, yeah.
And Shawn laments the fact that he was wrong. So he's like shocked that he was
Yes.
wrong about this, which I could not remember.
It freaks him out.
It does freak him out. They don't go far enough with that. I feel like that gets kind of
No.
dropped.
And I think it's more so. I think it's kind of like, oh, wait, this isn't fake. So I mean, like, I kind of wish it was.
oh,
it
right.
did go further.
You're right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably it. Because he didn't think any of this was real because it was Feeney doing it, and now that it wasn't
Right.
Feeney, it is real. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I gotcha.
But it still wasn't far enough. I do agree with you on
Mhm.
that one.
See, this is why I need Rachel, folks. I need her to be my Boy Meets World interpreter. She's she's like putting all this stuff together for me. Can you write 90s sitcoms, Rachel? Is that like
Maybe
your
I
thing?
could. Maybe that is a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I have been. You don't know.
That's true. Did you go back in time and write this?
I did.
Well, if you
I
do-
started making really good episodes.
Yeah. They go back to the classroom, and Shawn says when he suspected Feeney, that's what killed him. Because once you suspect someone and it's not the killer, they have to get killed because, you know, you need to have that whodunit.
It's like, oh no, we were wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, that moment is it tends to be in a lot of horror classic movies.
They ask if there's any way that they can get through this, and Shawn says, well, being a virgin, because virgins don't die. And Eric and Jack say they're dead. Corey thanks Topanga for keeping him alive. And then
Yep.
Shawn says he's going to get super sick up to the point without actually dying. And they and they
Yeah.
give him props for that too. Jack and Eric do. Rachel's rolling
This is
her
such a
eyes.
dude thing. This is such an old school dude thing. Like, you need to have those numbers. Good job. You guys aren't virgins. Like, Corey's the only one happy he is a virgin. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they give props to Feeney because he is dead. Which means that, you know, he must not be a virgin. I'm like, he's an old man, dude. Like, I think he was married before at some
Yes.
point. Like,
Yeah, this old widower in like his 60s.
oh, but he got some.
Yeah,
Up top.
they really celebrate that, yeah. Corey puts a stop to it to regroup. Kind of like his line where he's like, as happy as I am for Feeney, even though
Right?
he's dead, because they're celebrating this. They should just stay in this room, right? Why not just stay in this room? Because if you're all in
Like,
this
board
room,
up the. Put something in front of the door.
Yeah,
Stay in the room. You know?
sit in a circle,
Right.
just stay there. You're fine.
Back to back.
Yeah, back to
Yeah.
back, and just wait it out.
I would think so. I would think that's the best plan. Angela is like the first one who says we should split up. And it's like, I don't know why, but okay. And then Eric goes, no, that's like the worst thing to do. Or not Eric, I keep doing that.
Shawn.
I'm the one having issues
Yeah,
here.
you're the one doing it. Yeah, it's because they
Shawn
both have
says, like-
floppy hair. They have the
It's
floppy
true.
hair.
Shawn says, no, that's like the stupidest thing you can do. And she goes, okay, fine, we'll just sit here and we'll be totally fine. Yes. Good. But
Yeah,
then
that's
they
what-
immediately walk out the room.
Right. Yeah, and then immediately they walk out the room. Yeah. Well, because Corey accuses the janitor, and then they're like, well, now the janitor's
Right.
going to be dead. And Shawn says, "This is crazy, crazy man, Shawn Hunter." Because he
Oh,
turns
yeah.
to Topanga and is like, it's your fault that this is happening because none of this ever happened before you broke up with Corey. And now that
Yeah.
you broke up with Corey, this is happening. So he's correlation, not causation? Is
Yeah,
that
what the flip is this catalyst that he's like creating in his mind? No.
He needs some help. He needs a little bit of help.
Just a little.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a troubled kid.
He's,
We know
he is
this.
a troubled young man. They're all starting to fight with each other a little bit, and Eric goes, look, only 2 people are dead. That's an acceptable loss.
It's great. It's a great one.
As dumb and as quirky as they've made this Eric character, Will Friedle, he's
He plays it.
he's holding this shit together. Like,
Oh, yeah.
without him here, this would be kind of a miserable show, much less an episode.
Probably. I
'Cause,
do
like-
think he's probably one of my favorite characters besides Feeney on like the
Yeah,
show.
it's Feeney and him.
Even
That's
though
what makes
they
this
make
show.
him really stupid, which like upset me because I hate when they take the silly character and then make them stupid.
Yes. See Kevin Malone, see Homer, everything. So anyway, they freak out on the squeaky wheels from the janitor, and when they leave the room, it's just a bin, or like his like trash bin that he was like pushing
Right.
around.
It's like the rolling bin.
Jack compliments Angela's scream because she screams again.
Yeah,
She's
it is
like,
a
"You're-"
very good
She's like, you're actually
scream,
very
though.
good at that.
Which also could be flirtation.
Yeah, I think that's why Shawn looks at him kind of funny when
Oh,
he says that,
probably.
because he does look at him
Yeah.
like kind of funny.
Like,
And
how dare
then
you?
and then they find the janitor dead in the bin. So now the janitor's there. There's nobody else here. So clearly, like, what's going on? And then the killer runs behind them again.
So the janitor's
So,
dead. Nobody else is
the
in the building as far as we know.
Yes. And then the killer runs behind them, but the group doesn't know that. So Shawn
Yeah, but the killer
says-
running behind them used to scare me. That used to creep
I
me
bet.
out.
Well, because they put a sting in there too.
Yeah.
That's like a horror sting or whatever. Shawn says that this is the end of the obvious suspects. Just like the cult classic, The Last of the Obvious Suspects. He comes to the conclusion that the killer has to be one of us. And Eric keeps obnoxiously...
Just like in the movie, The Killer of One of Us.
And Eric keeps obnoxiously going dun dun dun
Yes.
in between them. That felt like improv, didn't it?
I think it might have been, especially the last one.
Yeah,
where
he goes,
does it
"I'm done."
after they kind of like are like annoyed, and he goes, "I'm done. I'm sorry."
Yeah, I'm done. Topanga says that she's getting upset with them, and they're like, "Do we upset you? Upset you enough to kill?"
I don't know why that gets me, but it got me.
Corey
So
does
dumb.
this horrible acting.
Horrible. Oh, horrible.
He really is the worst.
It's hammed up. It's so hammed up.
Because he does this murder with this
Yeah, what is
terrible
that?
French accent. What the fuck is he doing?
I don't think he needed to do that at all. Did he improvise that? And they're just like, I guess we have to keep it because he's the main character? Like, stupid.
One of us is a crazy, psychopathic murder.
It's really bad. They all look at each other suspectfully, except for Eric, who's licking his thumb. What the fuck is Eric
I think he's
doing?
biting his... No, he is licking his thumb, isn't he? I
Like,
thought he
what
was
is
biting his
that?
nail, but no, his tongue comes out.
Did he decide that that's gonna be like a character quirk that he licks his thumb when he's nervous?
So creepy.
Yeah, he's like going to town on it too. I guess they're gonna like leave somebody outside the room to like investigate or something. And Jack says, well, he's the oldest. Or Eric says he's the oldest, so he'll do it. And Jack's like, actually, I'm the oldest. And Eric's like, yeah, but I've lived the longest. And Jack's like, all right, that's fair. I like that a little bit.
I guess it's like life experience was in
Look,
Jack's head,
it's-
but I think...
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's Eric saying like, no, you're more boring. Like I've like
Yeah,
done
that's
more stuff.
that's my point, yeah.
Yeah.
Life experience versus just being older.
Yes. Eric volunteers to stay outside to warn them? I did not understand this plan.
The first part of that, this is where I got confused too, because the first part of that was we have to find a way out of here. Who's going to be able to do it? And then they choose
Oh.
Eric, but then they're like, yeah, you get to just stand out here. What?
Yeah,
Isn't he supposed to be
they
doing
decide to use him
something?
as bait or something.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand. Folks at home, let us know, because I don't know what the fuck the point was here. Eric is alone in the hallway, and he turns around, and Jennifer Love Hewitt is there.
That's right.
Now, a fun fact that I learned researching this episode: apparently they were dating in real life.
Oh, really?
Jennifer Love Hewitt and Will Friedle. Which, good for you, Will Friedle, because Jennifer Love Hewitt in 1998 don't get much better than that.
I don't think she's changed much.
I don't think she
I
looks
think
any
she
different,
gets
actually.
prettier, and then she's just, there she is, like, forever that way.
Yeah, I bet if you looked up a picture of her today, she looks exactly the same.
I bet she looks identical. She feels like one of those actresses that just kind of like, well, that's what she looks like for the rest of her life now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. She's very pretty.
Yes. Well,
She's still very pretty. Oh my god.
So yeah, they were dating in real life, which explains a little bit about this quick makeout session.
Yes, because otherwise this would be very inappropriate and awkward.
When we were watching it before I found this out, I was like, all right, I know they're actors, but Eric is like on top of this girl.
Oh yeah, and like nuzzling her the hell out of her neck and like just going for it, and it's just like, all right.
So
makes way more sense now.
Yeah, it makes a little bit more
fine.
sense. It makes more sense why she's in this. So like, she's obviously
she's in this because she's also in horror movies.
she's in I Know What You Did Last Summer. So like, they're playing up that and all of that stuff. He starts inappropriately, I will say, starts making out with this girl. Now she does consent after the fact.
She seems. Yeah, it's after the fact, but however, ask first. Don't you start?
No, I was trying
no.
to figure out like how he could have approached this better without blatantly being like, "Can I make out with you?" But I don't know how he would have been able to do
It could have been like, she could have been like, I'm not the killer. Oh, good, we can make out. And then they just start making
there
out.
we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Good call. I do like her line of, "You're very friendly, aren't you?" So,
Yes.
question. I'm about to spoil the end of this episode. Okay, you've been warned. So, did all of this... Skip to this time code. So did all of this happen in Shawn's dream? Did he...
Yeah. I think it had to have.
All of this in Eric's perspective happened in Shawn's. I guess they're
Well, because they're
watching
looking,
this.
they're watching from the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it still works.
Because everything
The
else.
later part kind of feels like, okay, he's like seeing it from even just one perspective. He's still in one perspective. We're not seeing multiple perspectives even later.
Right. Well, you're talking about the library scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that's the other one that kind of cheats it. Because other than that, it's all he's there, so you can all see it from Shawn's perspective.
Right. But he's still watching from the door. He's always watching.
I guess that's true. So her name is Jennifer Love Pfefferman instead of Jennifer Love Hewitt. You can call her Pfeffy. So the rest of the group is looking out the door. I think Corey says she doesn't look like a killer, but I'm a little less sure about Eric, who should be the last one you suspect because he's just too stupid to be killing them. And what is his motivation for doing it?
But that is a very killer thing. Then the last person you suspect could be the killer. Isn't that? Wait, I think that Shawn says that, doesn't he?
Well, yeah.
It's one of those things.
Or Jamie Kennedy does in Scream, one or the other.
Maybe.
The phone goes off. There's like a payphone outside one of these, because yes, this is the era where you would have to have a payphone in high school.
There are payphones in high schools, yeah.
I think there were payphones in our high. Were there payphones still? Did they take them out by the time you got there?
No, they were still there. No,
I wonder if that's like an
People
emergency
used to use
thing.
them. Yeah, I think they do keep stuff like that, but
it's probably a little bit
people
different
still
now.
used them when I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't ever imagine.
We weren't allowed to have our phones.
Oh, that's right. I lived in the era before they became problematic. So you could everybody just had their cell phone, but there wasn't anything to do on it other than call someone. So it's not like anybody was doing anything
the same
with it.
thing with mine. I mean, you were texting, but even then, if you didn't have texting on your phone, you're not texting.
Right. So this payphone is there. They pick it up, and it's a Scream
before that
reference.
happens, though, because it screams, Jennifer Love Hewitt screams.
Oh, yes. I liked this part. Yeah.
And Angela is just like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I just love her because she's like, I am the screamer here.
And she's a better screamer than Jennifer Love Hewitt.
It's a beautiful scream, I'm telling you.
Yes, girl, I am the screamer around here.
So the Scream reference is asking Jack what his favorite scary movie is, and he says, "Oh, I like the Hottie Hot 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 from Party of Five."
I.e., Scream.
Yes, and and I think Jennifer Love Hewitt is like Nev Campbell, and they're like, "Duh," or so.
Yep.
They're like, "We could use the phone to get help," and he's like, "Oh yes, because we find the killer, we can hit him with this," and he yanks
rips it out.
the phone off. But then
Do you think the killer was like, God damn it, they hung up on me?
Well, it still rings. And then,
that's the weird part.
And Eric picks up, which should be a clue as to what's going on. And then the killer tells him all what he's going to do to them, and he wants them to stay right there so that he can come kill him.
Now, here, two things with this, though. Two things. Okay. We don't hear the other end of the conversation like we did before. We don't hear the killer. So Eric is either talking to nothing or the killer, right?
Yeah, true.
So could be two things. One, it's a foreshadowing for what we find out later.
Mm-hmm.
Or Eric is it could be a foreshadowing that Eric's the killer because he's like, yeah, the killer wants you to know he's gonna kill all of us. So it could be trying to ooh, look, it could be Eric.
That's true. If Eric wasn't played so buffoonish, then yes, you definitely could go that way.
Okay, scary movie. I'm sorry.
Okay, so they I can't even. I don't even know what to say. They all go to the library for some reason. Because I guess they think this is a good idea.
I don't know why. What was their... I guess they just did. They just ran there.
Yeah, I guess they decided to stick together because they needed to go somewhere else because the killer knows where they're at. But the killer already knew where they were at, but whatever.
Right.
Topanga doesn't trust Pfefferman. And I think Topanga and Angela are just a little jealous of Jennifer Love Pfefferman.
I think so. I think you're right.
And I think the guys are too trusting of her because she's hot. So they are like...
She's hot and new, and it's you can't do that.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of too much trust.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. They decide to split up so that the killer can't get all of them at once, which, again, doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Now, if he would have said, let's split up to check the library to make sure that nobody else is here, that's one thing. But you just split up to see who else dies is a really stupid thought.
that fits. Okay, all right, folks, I got an idea. Here. What we're doing is we're all staying together, so we're all dying, one by one. But what if we split up? Then we can all die one by one separately.
I mean, okay, this is very Clue.
Mhm.
Because in Clue they split
That's
up and they
true.
said whoever dies and the other one comes back, we know who the killer is.
Yeah, you gotta try something at this
I
point.
guess, yeah.
Topanga looks suspicious because Pfefferman goes with Corey and he says, why would any of this happen? And she kisses him on the cheek for some reason.
Yeah.
Now, I did note that if you kind of go back and you think about, other than the last couple deaths, the other ones, whenever something happens that would cause Corey and Topanga to be on the outs, that's when somebody dies.
Yeah.
So she kisses Corey on the cheek, and books begin to fall on her. We see some
Right.
hands pushing books, and they kill Pfefferman. I don't know where Corey went. He disappeared
Yeah. Corey just disappears.
because Eric sees Pfefferman, sees Pfeffy,
Right.
and he's like, Pfeffy, I'll save you. Because she goes, I know who the killer is. I saw his face. And he's like, no, there'll be more time for that later. And she's
Right,
like,
yeah.
no, I'm dying now. I have to tell you. And he's like, oh, okay. So as she tells him, more books fall on Eric and kill
Right.
him. So these are powerful books in this library.
I mean, I guess if you get smacked with a really heavy book on the head, there's a potential that it could kill you. I think it would just knock you out. Give you
That
a
would
big
have to be
bump
a
and a
hefty
bruise.
book.
Yeah, like encyclopedia sized, like has to smack you in the head.
Hmm. I guess if somebody did wind up and whack you with it, like a steel
Yeah.
chair, it could be
If it gets
a
enough
good professional
momentum
wrestling
from the
weapon.
top shelf, even.
That's true. Yep, you drop
Yeah.
something from enough height. Clearly another goofy, yes, they died via
Books.
books. Jack thinks that he can't afford to live in his apartment because his roommate's dead. I like his little bit where he's like, "Oh no, Eric, he was my roommate, and Pfeffy, I didn't really know her."
It was good. That was a good one. I did like that too.
So Jack says this, and he's going to commit suicide because he can't
Yes,
afford
he's
his
like,
apartment.
I'm just jumping out the window.
He's gonna jump out the window, and Angela stops him and says, Shawn is still your roommate, and he can help pay for
Right.
the apartment. Which is interesting because Shawn is in high school, he doesn't have a job, and Jack is paying for Shawn to live there.
Exactly. So it's like, that's not true at all, but okay.
But as they say this, the killer, who we see in full regalia, is in this black
Yes.
cloak with a skull mask.
Yes.
And
the skull mask is pretty creepy.
it's creepy for a little kid, it would be creepy.
Yeah.
The killer pushes them off, which John Adams High, we know, several stories tall.
I mean, I guess they did run upstairs.
They establish
To
the
the
establishing shot
library,
of the high
but-
school is usually that it's a few stories tall. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I guess if you
It's
fell
a
wrong,
few story library tall too, I guess, but you know.
whatever. It's clearly goofy, and they're about to say why all this goofiness is allowed to happen.
Exactly. So Angela and Jack are dead.
So we're down to our final three, which are our three main characters: are Milhouse, Lisa, and Bart, if you will.
Yes.
And they're about to get crunched up in the thing to make them into food. But something always comes along to save the Simpson children. In this case, the skull-masked, cloaked guy confronts those three, and the killer puts Topanga and Corey's hands together.
Yeah, because they're like, why are you doing this? And they're like,
Jesus Christ.
for you.
Yes.
For your relationship.
Oh my god. Which would be creepy if you put this into the context of a nut job, like a serial killer kind of thing that did
Yeah.
do this because they became upset. Like if you did this with a celebrity couple, like a movie that you could do
Oh,
this with a celebrity
yeah.
couple.
Oh, I could see people doing that with the Pam and Jim of The
Yeah.
Office. Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
Because I could see people doing that and then becoming the creepiest creeps
I'm thinking more
serial
of
killer to do it.
like in real life. Like in real life.
But that's
you're-
what I mean. Like the two actors, like
Oh,
they are so
oh,
obsessed with the
okay.
characters
Okay.
in The Office.
I
that
was
they're
thinking-
like, I want the actors to be together. Like
I was thinking even more just real life. Like if it was Miley Cyrus and who's the
she's with
the
somebody?
lesser Hemsworth that that she
Liam?
divorced, Liam. Yeah, if somebody was obsessed with the two of them and then was trying to put them back
Oh,
together.
and then try to put them back together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
That could be a
It's
creepy movie.
weird.
That could be a good like thriller.
Yeah. It's gross, but it's creepy.
Yeah, it's gross. Don't do that, folks at home. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, don't. Yeah, not like in real life. We were saying like a movie of that would be interesting,
that's right.
not like somebody actually doing that.
No, somebody actually doing that would be very disturbing and
Don't do that.
wrong. We have to put our little.
If you feel like you want to do that, go
disclaimer.
get help.
Please put a little disclaimer on there. We don't need folks at home blaming shelf life like they did Catcher in the Rye.
Oh God.
So Shawn takes the hood off, and it's him. It's himself. So we get Shawn standing across from himself.
That's
One of those
right.
like cut screen effects there. Very nice.
Yep.
Surprised that they were able to pull that off, to be honest.
Oh, I'm not. That's an easy one to pull off.
It is now. I don't know if like
No,
what it
I think
was.
back then that was like the easiest way for them to do something like that was to like just split
Splice
the
it.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
was
since they
thinking-
didn't really like interact as much, they just had like the
they just had the
the
guy
double
stand there. Yeah.
for the back of the head.
Yep.
It wasn't too bad.
So he stands there. Maybe he's a twin. I was thinking, but then it just kind of cuts, and we find out that Shawn has fallen asleep in detention.
That's right.
And Corey wakes him up, and he's like, "Mr. Feeney looks like he's going to kill you." And I do love Feeney sitting there.
He's just staring at him. He's not gonna wake him up. He's just
No,
going to
No,
stare
he's
at
just
him.
gonna stare at him.
I assume like he'd wake up and then he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm giving you more detention this week because you
Yes.
fell asleep."
Or after a while, done the thump, like drop the textbook
Oh
on
yeah,
the
drop the
table.
book.
Yeah. Shawn says that he's not the killer, I am, meaning Feeney. He's like, I need to tell Feeney the truth or something. So he goes up and he tells Feeney
guess,
everyone
yeah.
can go. It's his fault that everyone's in detention. And he's
It's
like,
really weird.
I'm taking it really hard that Corey and Topanga broke up. And Feeney's like, yes, Mr. Hunter, I read Teen Beat. So it's like, yeah, you just told me this 10 minutes ago.
It's like we've known about this for a while. It's all you guys ever talk about.
And
I get it.
And I'm his neighbor for some reason
yes.
as well. Shawn says that he knows why he's taking it hard. So he turns around and he's going to proclaim this to his best friends and his ex-girlfriend and Kenny, who has to feel super awkward about just being there.
Oh my God. Could you imagine being Kenny?
I would hate it. I'd have like
just
secondhand
wanted a
embarrassment. Yeah. Hashtag poor Kenny. He just wanted a
Yep.
pencil. That could be a shirt where it's just like,
It's just a big
Poor
pencil.
Kenny
I just needed a
just
pencil.
wanted a pencil. It's an outline of his body with like with the pencil lead.
Oh my God.
So Shawn says, which I don't think is canonical, but they make it canonical at some point.
Yeah, I want to talk about it a little bit.
Okay. So he says that Topanga and Corey have been together before he knew them. Go ahead. I'll let you stop me. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, just because that's the part you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Is the part that he didn't know them before they were together. Now, I think we know that Shawn and Corey have been friends for like ever, right?
Mhm.
But I do think that Corey and Topanga did know each other when they were in diapers, like when they were babies, because I think there was some like parent group thing, and that's how they met. So I think they did know each other before Shawn came into the picture.
Yes.
And I think Shawn's point is like, well, you guys were always meant to be, so you were always together before
yes.
I came in.
They retcon this in future seasons where they say like, oh, when they were little kids, they dated, like they did like little kid, like, you're my best friend, we're dating. And then when they got to the point where they were like old enough to understand what like that meant, then Corey was like, ew, gross girls, and like abandoned her.
Okay.
But when you watch those early seasons, that's not what
No.
happened.
No.
But that's
But
kind of how
I
they
thought
try
it was I thought it was just kind of like a, well, you guys knew each other before I even knew
Yeah.
you. I don't know.
No,
It
I
was
mean,
kind of
that's-
it's a dumb line. It's a dumb line, but I'm trying to like understand, like,
Yes.
because it's like, what?
fuck are you talking about, Hunter? Because of this, and because they broke up, he doesn't think that he can depend on anything anymore. When you think about Shawn, I get it. Because, like, he's lost his dad, he lost Mr. Turner, his mom's a drunk or something. So, like, all he has is Corey and Topanga. So, like,
Sure.
I can understand.
And then the group broke up type of thing.
Yeah, but he still needs to have somebody talk to him a little bit.
Well, I think that's kind of Feeney's point too. He's just like, look, I know you're a troubled young man.
Yeah, he calls him a troubled young man.
Which is true though. Like he might need to like maybe go talk to the counselor or something. Like
look, I'm
you're projecting your like family issues on these two teenagers.
Feeney does all of this with the same dignity as he would say if he like an oil tanker spilled. He's look, a very terrible thing happened. These two high school children broke up. That's how he says it.
Yes.
It's like how he would be like, kids, I have some very terrible news. I don't know how to say this, but
your mom was in a car accident.
Yeah,
you know?
your fellow classmates have broken up. That's the gravitas.
It's so goofy. But he tells him it's not your fault, blah, blah, blah.
For once, it's not your fault, Mr. Hunter. Like, he blames him for everything that happens in Shawn's life, too, by saying for once it's not his fault.
Yep.
And
because I guess he is the troublemaker, but...
He lets them go.
I think his whole idea is that Corey makes him better, too. It's one of those situations.
Yes, it's a very toxic friendship that Corey and Shawn have, actually.
Just a little.
So, Feeney lets them go. He says that they've learned their lesson. And they all leave the room, and Feeney leaves. And after they leave, the killer figure emerges from the darkness from behind a computer. And that's the end of the episode proper, until we get our little epilogue. I could see you getting creeped out by that too, Rachel, when you were little.
That did creep me out. Yeah, it did creep me out. I remember it creeping me out.
Yeah. I mean, you would have
been
like
those weird
little.
Chills. I literally have that brain, and especially when I was a kid, that even if it didn't like scare me in the moment, later on, like during the night or something, my brain's gonna be like, I'm gonna make that thing that was a little spooky horrifying for you.
We get a little epilogue where Feeney is asking them to answer questions like they were at the beginning, like Mr. Hunter, Nebraska, Mr. Matthews, and doing like what you were saying, except they're all standing up and being like, Sir, Mr. Feeney, sir, and they're like answering the questions all right, because that's Mr. Feeney's dreams. And he wakes up.
So they're all applauding and everything.
Let's give a hand for Sir, Mr. Feeney, sir.
That's right.
And
he got his ovation right there, his standing ovation.
That's right. And he stands up and he wakes up, and of course his reality is actually his hell, because they're all throwing papers and acting like fucking idiots, even though they're seniors in high school.
Oh my god, yes.
And he contemplates murder because he grabs the scissors and he thinks maybe...
Yes, and he just stares at it for a minute.
It's either murder or suicide. Like, I couldn't tell if he was going to just slit his own throat right there.
Because the scissors is what killed him in the original dream.
But that is the end of... What is this called? And then there was Shawn. And then there was Shawn. The Boy Meets World.
Mr. Feeney's House of Horrors.
Yeah, as it should have been called. So apparently, just to give you a little bit of some trivia on this one before we get into it, this is the title of the episode. This is from the Boy Meets Wiki. The episode is a reference to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, fair.
So there you go.
They're
although Dr. Feeney's House of
you
Horrors would have been better, but fine. Apparently, Angela was pregnant during the filming of this episode.
Thus the long baggy clothes.
Yes, apparently. During the Zoom meeting where the cast reunited to react to this episode, they reacted to this episode. So there's a Zoom film out there.
Oh, that's even more fun. I feel like I should go watch that now.
Yeah. The episode, according to this wiki, was notoriously difficult to shoot because the actors kept breaking character and laughing from the sheer ridiculousness of it, which I completely understand because, I mean, it is, it's a ridiculous episode. So, Rachel, we have come to that point of the show where I will ask, does And Then There Was Shawn have shelf life?
Oh, this one's hard. Well, because you have that weird nostalgia with this one, so it feels like one of those like silly Halloween things that you have to watch. Does it have shelf life, though? The concept is funny. The Shawn part is a little cringy.
Sure.
So it's hard for me to be like, do I box set this? What do I do with this? I feel like it's one of those silly...
Do you want me to tell you mine?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah,
You
like,
want to
go
think about
first.
this? Okay. You can think
Let me
about
think
it.
for a minute.
I think it's a fun episode. It is
Yeah.
still fun to watch. Granted, nostalgia goggles are on 100%, and that makes it hard to judge if you didn't watch this as a 8-year-old or whatever the hell I was. So
Yes.
it can be difficult to have a unbiased perspective. My guess is if you come into this cold and you didn't grow up watching this, you're going to think that this is bad.
This is bonkers, and like, why are you even discussing it?
But I can't come to it from that perspective because I just don't have that perspective. And second of all, to your second point, Rachel, why are we even discussing this? What are you talking about? Do I need to pull the list out? The people that ask that, the people that ask those questions, what's our motto? The worst a thing can be is boring. This is not boring. This is not boring.
That's very true.
This is not boring.
Ooh.
This is
That's
worthy
a
of
good
discussion.
point. Yes.
We talked for an hour about this fucking Boy Meets World episode. This is worthy of discussion. It's corny as hell.
Oh, very.
It's very of its time.
Right.
It's very Disney Channel, ABC, 90s. But if I am going to put it anywhere, it's going to be rewatched by me for Halloween several times throughout my life. Don't think I'm going to watch it every year for Halloween.
No, I wouldn't call this an every year one.
But it's definitely
an every few years.
Yeah, if it's on, or if I go find it on Disney Plus or whatever, it's a good little fun watch.
You're right. You're right.
With that in mind, I don't think I can in good conscience like put the episode up on the shelf. But when I'm taking out the decorations for Halloween, it's in that box.
And you see it in that box, and you go, oh,
yeah.
You know what?
You put it on the shelf
for
Halloween because it's up there as a good, Halloween reminder. It's not all the time.
It's a seasonal thing.
It's definitely seasonal. And so for me, it's got that Halloween shelf life, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So yes, for me it does, and it's totally pure nostalgia, and I couldn't necessarily... I could recommend people watching it for fun, but I can't really say that others would find shelf life in this unless you are my exact age, unless you watched it as a kid.
That's where I'm coming from, too. That's why I'm having issues with it, because I have nostalgia. It's one of those, when we were talking about a Halloween special, we both were like, what if we do the Screen'em episode for Boy Meets World? And then you did choose it.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's not on my shelf.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to say that. It's not on my shelf, but I also will put it on if it's on, or if I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll put it on.
Yeah.
It's not something I wouldn't rewatch. It's something that you'd put
you're
it back
not-
on just to
you're
like
not
laugh at.
buying it. You're not
No.
you're not going out to own it. You're
No.
not going out of your way necessarily. Well, I guess that's another thing I can ask.
For the season, yes.
For the season,
I would go
yeah.
out of my way to watch it.
If you're putting together a list, I sometimes think about this. I do this with podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Folks at home, I
That's
have a
true.
list. It starts around, mid-September or whatever, where I go through and I have to time it out because I go, here are all of my Halloween podcasts. Here are all of my Halloween movies. Here are all the Halloween TV shows that I want to watch. And I have to figure out between, yes, I'm that guy. I have to figure out between then and Halloween when and where to watch or listen. This would be in that list for me.
I think it could be in that list. It could be in that rotating list where you're like, okay, this is one that could come into the rotation now.
Yeah.
Wanting to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah,
that's how I would do it. I would oh yeah, I haven't watched this one in a while. I'm gonna watch this one. There's the ones you watch every year, and then there's the one that you go, all right, I watched this a couple years ago, but I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah,
because I want to again. That's my thought about it.
Okay, I mean we're obviously we have a very nuanced take. Our show is called Shelf Life, and we either go yes or no, but we have way more nuanced takes than that half the time.
Half the time, there's this huge ass gray area where we're just like, I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I'm willing to put it on a Halloween shelf and call
on
it
a
out
Halloween
as that.
shelf.
Yeah,
I'll put it in the Halloween box. I'm not gonna put it on the shelf.
Okay, that's fair. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that we have a different answer for this one. We might have a
Yeah.
different answer for the next one too. So that was, and then there was Shawn from Boy Meets World season 5. It is on my Halloween shelf.
It's in my Halloween box.
Yes. So cross that one off the list, Rachel. We got that one done. So we're going to take another short break, and when we come back, we will get into our second Halloween special podcast of horror subject.
What do you get when you combine the irresistible taste of fruit snacks with the spookiness of Goosebumps? New Goosebumps fruit roll-ups with scary peel-outs. And fruit by the foot with creepy Goosebumps story teasers. So deliciously unusual, everyone will try to get their hands on them, but they're only around for a limited time. So what's really scary is running out. Friday, Fox presents a Halloween special.
I need a really scary mask, like that one.
Based on the bestsellers of R.L. Stine.
I can't get it off me.
Goosebumps, the Haunted Mask.
This face, it's your face now.
Friday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Good evening, kiddies. Tonight we'll drink a little terror with your favorite Fox stars from Universal Studios, Florida. But first, a special presentation sure to give you goosebumps.
Goosebumps is rated GB7 because it may be too spooky for Goosebumps fans under 7. And now, Goosebumps, the Haunted Mask.
What did you just shove in your mouth?
It's a
Would you
dot.
get another piece of candy? Is it good? It's good.
I can't tell which one it is though. Probably it's one of the ghost ones.
It's a mystery flavor.
I think it was orange. I don't know.
Kind of orangey.
It tastes
Kind of
a little
citrusy.
orangey. Hang on, cause now it's all stuck in my teeth.
I know, that's why I had a feeling we're gonna have to wait.
We're back.
Kevin's just eating dots. We just talked about this. How you can't eat the chewy ones.
Yep, we were offline. I thought we were fine. The fake sponsor and everything. I thought it was fine.
Good God.
We're back. That was the most Kramer one I've done yet.
It really was.
Okay. So we continue our Halloween special podcast of horror here.
That's right.
At the graveyard. Rachel selected, marvelous selection. She stewed over this. She even brought over.
Really did, honestly.
She brought over 2 different DVDs to figure out what to do. And rest assured, folks, we watched both of them, and we'll do the other one next year. Rachel, we are doing, of course, what?
Goosebumps.
Ooh, viewer beware. You're in for a scare.
We're doing Goosebumps, episode 1, The Haunted Mask. I guess that's episode 1 and 2.
Did you say sorry or sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There you go. Thank you. In honor of this episode, you should be saying sorry.
My bad.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. The Haunted Mask. Goosebumps. The Haunted Mask. Parts 1 and 2.
An actual Halloween episode.
That's what got it done.
That's what got me. That got me.
Yes. So it is an actual Halloween episode. We are doing an actual Halloween episode, even though, Rachel.
I know. I agree.
There
are a lot of them are pretty Halloween-y. It's just that, this one
is Halloween is in the air. Yes.
That's
Halloween's a central plot point of this one.
Yes.
So I get it. Rachel, what happens in The Haunted Mask?
Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask is about a haunted mask. To truly sum it up. It's a little girl who wants to get revenge, and she buys a haunted mask. Shenanigans.
I do enjoy that half of your descriptions of things are just shenanigans.
Is that okay?
That's what happens.
Do you want me to spoiler it? I mean, I can.
No.
It possesses her.
Yeah, she gets possessed by a haunted mask. I think that's fair. This is the first episode of the 1995 series Goosebumps. Goosebumps, of course, written by R.L. Stine, famed writer. Would you call
awkwardly also in this?
Yes. So stilted. So unbelievably stilted. Lemony Snicket, he is not.
No, because Lemony Snicket is so good. And then this...
I didn't expect him to be so, stilted. Because, like, you're...
Oh,
Okay, R.L.
he's
Stein...
a dork.
Do people not know what Goosebumps is out there? I mean,
I think people
there's a
would know
new
what
there's a new
Goosebumps
show
is, right?
on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Okay, there's a new show on Disney Plus. There were a couple of movies a few years back with Jack Black playing R.L. Stein, which now seems so miscast after listening to this man talk.
It's very true.
But do you think that there's people out there that don't know what Goosebumps are?
I guess we could explain it, just in case.
I think we have to do it a tad. I won't go into the entire, like, production or anything like that. But this, to me, I have a feeling, if I remember correctly, and we'll find out, I'm sure, as we go through our journey here on Shelf Life, this is like the pinnacle of Goosebumps with this Haunted Mask TV episode. I think that they kind of threw everything at it.
Oh, you
Lost
mean
my
like
train of
just this
thought.
episode period? Or do
Yes.
you mean like this whole series?
This episode period. I know.
Oh.
So
Oh no.
when people say, like, what's the best of Goosebumps, it might be this episode of Goosebumps.
People say the Haunted Mask, but they also mention like a few others.
I mean, I think that we would still do things. Stay Out of the Basement, Night of the Living Dummy.
That one definitely.
I can't think of other ones. I remember the books more than the show, to be honest with you. So I don't remember. There's like a werewolf one. There's Welcome to Dead House. There's all these different ones. For me, R.L. Stein is kind of the Stephen King for kids.
Oh yeah.
Would you say?
I would say that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. He kind of looks a little like Stephen King too, actually. He's written a ton of crap. He writes it pretty quickly and was very, very prolific when we were kids in particular. And then he wrote more teenager, preteen kind of books. Oh,
Okay.
what is that one called? Oh, what's it called? Fear Street. Fear Street. So that Netflix trilogy he also wrote.
Okay.
So there's a bunch
I don't
of
think I
Fear...
watched that one, but okay.
I have not either. But there's a bunch of Fear Street books, and that is more geared towards, like, teenagers.
Gotcha.
So he's...
So it's probably a little bit darker, but not too much.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's, like, a little bit darker. And then there's, like, another show that he produced that's a little more, like, preteen, like, teen, like, supposed to be a little scarier, too. Can't remember the name of that one. Somebody's screaming at it. I expected him because Stephen King is a weirdo. And
It's true.
in a you know, not necessarily like a terribly bad way. Like, he's just a crazy person. So he has a lot of charisma. He had no charisma at all in this.
No, it was a little awkward. It was awkward.
So The Haunting Hour was the other show that they had after Goosebumps in like the late 2000s, and that was supposed to be like Goosebumps, but it's supposed to be like scarier.
I bet I watched this one.
I've heard it's good, but who knows?
I mean, I probably watched it when it came out.
Yeah. According to the Goosebumps wiki on it, the Haunted Mask was 121 pages. So it's supposed to be one of these kind of books that's, you know, for kids to get into, like chapter books and stuff. And I remember they would always be available in the library or on that Scholastic book
Oh yeah,
club.
the Scholastic Books fairs always had Goosebumps books. Always. Why did they get rid of those? Those were so good.
I don't know. Maybe they still have
Apparently
them.
they did. No, apparently they got rid of them. People
Oh,
they
really?
say that they don't do them anymore.
Oh.
How?
I mean, that's folks at home. Get on threads and hashtag bring back Scholastic.
We gotta get Gen Z to reading.
Gen Z might be too old to be reading Goosebumps, but it's
Well,
whatever
I'm just
the one
saying,
after
like,
that
into
is.
reading, period.
Oh yeah, put down your fucking phone and read something.
What's the next?
God damn it!
What is the next generation after Z?
Alpha.
Okay, Gen Alpha then. Also, whatever. Stupid names for these stupid things.
Well, we ran out of letters, so now we're in the Greek letters. By the time we die, they'll run out of Greek letters, and then they'll be like, whatever, let's start over. Okay, so the Scholastic Book Fair is where I probably read a lot of these, and I did read a lot of these. I think that they were just kind of fun reads for as a kid. So there were a ton of them. They were popular because of that, and of course, because they were popular because of that, we got to make a TV show out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more a Twilight Zone thing.
Yeah, I think it just did like a two-parter for fun. for this one. I don't think it was like everyone is going to... Well, nope.
They're all two-parters?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
No, they are. They are all two-parters.
That's interesting.
So, you know what that reminds me of then? Series of Fortunate Events. The new one, which I really like. I thought they did a good adaptation of Series of Unfortunate Events, because that was one of my favorite books when I was growing up. You mentioned Lemony Snicket, I had to say it. And they did that one where it was like every 3 episodes was one of the books.
Okay.
Yeah, so they kind of did like, here's this book, and then this book, and blah, blah, blah. So maybe they did do 2-parters just so that the full book...
Yes, they can actually adapt the full book. Yeah, okay.
Nowadays, these length times for these episodes, though, would be doubled. Each episode would probably be like an hour almost long. Well, I don't think they would have left them at only 24 minutes.
I think every once in a while they did an hour long, but I think for the most part it was like week 1 or after school 1, day 1, you're doing part 1. And then the next day or the next week, you're doing part 2.
Okay.
I think that's how it worked.
That makes sense.
This was
you're
different.
Forward to something.
We can discuss this. So the production takes place in Canada, which you can tell very easily by these actors because there's a lot of boots and oyas and stories all over the place. This was the first episode to air. It aired on Fox. It did not air on Fox Kids. It aired in fucking prime fucking time, Rachel.
That seems odd.
And it's weird that like you brought this one obviously because you were like, no, we got to do something Halloween based. It aired on October 27th, 1995. I can remember vividly watching this at night because I was like, holy shit, they're gonna have Goosebumps on at night.
Oh, that would make sense though because it's supposed to be scary.
Yeah, so
you're in for a scare and it should be dark out.
It was like a special. Like it truly was like this is a special event. I have the sense memory. Folks at home probably know what I could be talking about. You know that fall, like the heat's kind of on because it's like chilly outside, so you have that like kind of like that furnace-y smell. I'm eating a slice of my fat kid is eating a slice of pizza, watching Goosebumps. God only knows what was on before or after that. Probably Dinosaurs or Boy Meets World. I didn't remember a lot from it other than the mask design, which is excellent, by the way.
Oh, the mask design is fantastic. Oh my god. That's what I would be concerned they'd butcher in like the newer versions of
this. Well, because the other thing about Goosebumps, the books, is that they all have very distinct covers. It looks like the mask on the cover. 6 or 7-year-old or whatever I was watching this episode. Yeah, it was fun. But now, nearly 30 years later, does it have shelf life?
Does it have shelf life? I kind of want to go back and like read the books now and say, do they have shelf life?
So I don't think it started this way when the episode premiered, but there is, in my humble opinion, a very iconic opening credits sequence for Goosebumps. I think anybody that watched it when they were kids would know exactly what this is. Because it's that...
Oh, absolutely.
It's R.L. Stine, like, cloaked. CGI pages start flying out of his briefcase. And I guess it's supposed to be like all his horror-written pages.
It's going over the town.
It first goes over a billboard and turns a model into greasy-haired model.
Yeah, it like horrorizes the model, I guess.
And then I remember this effect actually getting to me a little bit.
I remember the dog.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, like, so the Goosebumps symbol goes over.
It's a
like,
golden
it's a
retriever.
Shadow,
It's the kindest dog there is.
Yes. But, like, the shadow goes over the dog, and it makes the eyes turn into, like, crazy cat, like, glowy eyes. Like...
Terrible, terrible CGI.
Oh, it's horrible. It's great. It's childhood right there.
This shadowy G, like, opens the door, and there's, like, scenes from Goosebumps. And then the thing that always is sad is this creepy voice going, "Viewer beware, you're in for a scare." Before it would start. So that was Goosebumps. I think that's
iconic.
Yeah, there's no other word for it. That's what
no,
it is.
it is what it is.
I apologize to no one! It starts off by going through the masks, and I think on the original broadcast, this is how it started, just going through the masks, and you end up at R.L. Stein's face, which...
Which, if the man had more charisma, now maybe he's putting on like a show here, like this is like the character he wants to be.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is he trying to be Rod Serling or something?
I don't think he's trying to be Rod Sterling.
Because he's so... You could see Twilight Zone doing this, right? Where like it goes by the mask, and then there's Rod going like, masks.
Right, and then
we
he's
hide
just
behind them
standing
every
there.
day.
Yeah, then he like walks out from behind one, or he's one. Yeah, that's true. I guess it could be. Maybe he is, and he's just trying to be more mysterious.
I think this is the only time he did this. Would it have been better if he was the Rod Serling of Goosebumps and he did like a little introduction?
Maybe.
For each episode? That'd be kind of fun. I mean, clearly he doesn't have the panache to pull it off. Right. So what he does is he, in a very, very straightforward,
almost
monotone voice, is just like, hello. You're about to watch Goosebumps. It's the Haunted Mask, a story about Carly Beth, a girl that's afraid of things. And he says the signature line.
He does.
Which I keep wondering if he came up with it or if somebody else came up with it. Because...
I don't know.
Because I'm like, he doesn't say it with any vigor. He's just like, viewer beware. You're in for a scare. That's how he says it!
Mm-hmm.
What's so scary about that? You'll see. Viewers beware. You're in for a scare.
So the episode begins, and we're walking through what I think might be CGI smoke. Like, it's supposed to be like fog. I think it's a little CGI. I would assume they did, but it looks kind of like CGI. It kind of
looks fake.
It looks a little
It looks
fake.
like it's glowing and it's just kind of hanging there.
So we talked about the fashion in Night of the Living Shawn, or whatever the hell that episode was called. Then there was Shawn.
The Night of the Living Shawn sounds even better, and I wish it was about zombies.
There's a bit of 90s fashion going on here with these characters. In particular, the main girls.
Slight grunge, but not too much.
Yeah, they're straight out of like a... Yeah, we came right back from the Nirvana concert. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, they were, we went to the garage band and then we came back over here.
Well, she's got like the ruffled faux turtleneck and like an oversized
one's got a denim jacket
on top of that. Yeah, the denim jackets. Denim jackets are in now, so denim is in. How dare you?
Complain about that. So, there's two girls, Sabrina, I think is the name of the friend, and Carly Beth is the main girl. Go ahead. Rachel's about to go on a rant.
It's just such a 90s name, and the fact that she goes by her first and middle name.
You don't think people are doing that anymore? You don't think that's come around?
I know they might.
Folks at home, you know anybody that goes by their first and middle name? It's like Mary. It's like Mary Jane. Or
yeah, but Carly Beth is such an interesting one. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, Carly Beth doesn't fit. It's like putting a square in a rectangle and trying to get them to go together.
I mean, a square and a rectangle. I mean, square.
Well, I was gonna say square peg and a round hole, but I wanted to say something better. We had
it kind of works, but it's just different. And I just feel like people.
No, I agree.
Growing up, a lot of them would do that, especially if they had a name that was so common. Then they'd go by the first and middle name.
Mm-hmm. No, I could see that. We had
and
somebody...
half of them had the same middle name, so it was like really dumb.
Right. We had somebody in high school that went by the first and middle name together, and if she would have gone by the first name or the middle name, it wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have fit. Wouldn't have been her.
But it had to have the whole thing.
You had to have the whole thing. Nobody called her one or the other. You said the whole thing.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Carly Beth.
Carly Beth. And everybody calls her Carly Beth. Nobody's calling her Carly. No one's calling her Beth.
Bullies.
Nobody's calling her CB. She could have been called CB. Call her CB.
CB.
Could have been. So they walk by this store that says novelty shop on it, and Carly Beth is like all like, oh, look at this. This could be fun. We could go to the novelty store. And Sabrina's like, oh, come on, Carly Beth, we gotta get home. It's getting late, or whatever she says. So, like, it establishes that there's this new store in town, I guess. And
yeah, like a pop-up store? It must just be like a pop-up store. Like...
okay, this evil German brought this pop-up store?
Look... How do these kids that probably pass this same store every day after school or something go, hey, look, a new store?
Yes, because
it's a new store.
No,
what the frick?
Hold on. I think we're piecing this together. It's a front. It's not a real store. So this guy is like, he's like an Eastern European. He is from behind the Iron Curtain, right?
Oh, boy.
Very clearly. So he has opened up this store because he needs to figure out how to get rid of these masks, right? So there's some suspicious shit going on. Like, he's got the masks in there, but he's got some other goods in there, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
He is...
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like an arms dealer or like something. And he just so happens to have these evil masks that he was doing Nazi science.
We find out that the man made the masks.
Yeah,
okay?
He was doing Nazi science. That's what I'm
boy.
saying. And now he's trying to sell this shit to the highest bidder. He did not expect these two teenage girls to walk into the store. But they don't go in the store first. They first go to this pumpkin patch of rotting
in the middle of
pumpkins.
the night. Hold on a second.
Whoa, okay,
because...
yes. Folks, we have a lot to get through in this one, but there is a lot to talk about.
It's dark. Like, it is dark. Like, it is, like, at least 9 o'clock at night, if not later. And these kids are going to a pumpkin patch at 9 o'clock at night.
Yes.
Where there's rotting pumpkins.
They waited till the last minute to go, too.
And so it's just, like, kind of, like, what? They have, like, flashlights, and there's mist being pumped in from the background.
From just off screen.
Why are the pumpkins rotted? Like, even if you go to a pumpkin patch and it's Halloween, they will have pumpkins left over through November. So there's, like, what is wrong with this patch?
Yes,
I wouldn't buy from this patch. There's, like, some zombies coming out of this ground at some point.
A little known fact, you want to buy stock in pumpkins, you buy it in September, and then you assume that it's going to hit the peak right around January. Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't understand why some of them are bad. I don't understand why this is just like a communal pumpkin patch.
Yeah,
where you can just go pick your own pumpkin.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Is that a thing?
No.
Folks at home, is that a thing? Do we just not live in like a small enough town where like there's a communal pumpkin patch?
I mean, I guess that's true. Maybe it's just like a really tiny small town thing where they just have like, we planted pumpkins, go pick your pumpkin.
Why don't you start that, Rachel? You could start the communal pumpkin patch.
We'll make a pumpkin patch?
Yeah.
Because the farmers would probably come at me for it,
Ah,
considering how much money they make from people coming by to their farms in October.
Exactly. And that's why there's no communal pumpkin patch, because of fucking capitalism.
Capitalism. That's what did it.
So she reaches down because she's like, oh, here's a good one. And when she goes and picks it up, a hand comes out of the ground and attacks her. And it turns out to be these two turds.
Absolute turds.
These two little fucking troll children.
Wearing the pumpkin heads.
And they look like 90s turd children.
Absolutely.
God.
The one is going through puberty and the other one isn't quite there yet. And turds.
So
absolute turds.
We learn that they like to make fun of Carly Beth because she gets made fun. She gets afraid of everything.
She's just skittish. Like, come on.
Even Sabrina is like, you get scared of everything and like, don't worry about them. And she accuses Sabrina actually of being in on it with them. I was getting some vibes in this conversation because they were going back and forth of like, they did this to me, they did this to me, and she's like, that's not funny. And Sabrina's like, I would do nothing to hurt you and all that stuff. There's a couple of scenes in this where I was like, these two dating? Like, do they have a thing for each other?
What, the two girls?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't really pick up on that vibe.
There's like a little bit where I was like, might have just been like a little
maybe.
bit.
I don't know. I got a bit of a Mean Girl vibe. I got a bit of a...
Oh, you think Sabrina's kind of a bitch?
Sabrina kind of is a little bit of like a backhanded friend. I feel like she would be in on it and laugh at anything that happens to
she
to her.
seemed like she could have been a little bit in on
Like
it.
she never like sticks up for her.
Yeah, she kind of shouts back at them. I don't remember what she does when they feed her the worm, which
I don't think she does anything, and that's ridiculous.
That's abuse
the
of some
teacher
kind.
needed to know that.
That's
is
right.
outrageous.
Yes,
that's not
somebody's
funny.
getting fucking expelled for that one.
Oh my god, I would have punched him so hard in the face.
So Sabrina tries to convince her that it's a stupid joke, and
It's just a prank.
What's her name? Carly Beth is like, but she says like, "Why me?" and like cries on her shoulder.
I guess.
It's like a little bit.
Yeah, I guess they could.
Yeah, busting balls on this episode.
That it's a really toxic relationship if they are in like, man.
I will actually give her a little bit of acting credit on this, Rachel, because she does this a few times where she tries to defend herself and she goes,
You want to give her props for that? There's a couple of those that just felt like
This one in this scene is actually pretty good because I thought this one was like a good stutter. Later on, she does a very bad stutter. This
my god, it's awful.
Pretty good stutter.
This one was fine. This one was fine.
I might be afraid sometimes, but I mean, she's like stuttering like Hugh Grant in a romantic comedy.
It's kind of true.
So
she doesn't even get the pumpkin, which is really sad.
Yeah, she doesn't get the pumpkin. She doesn't like being scared. She goes home. She's all upset about it. When she does go home, her mom comes up with... Her mom's fucking crazy. Her mom has some fucking Carrie mom vibes here because she shows what she made in art
I think
class.
it would be Carrie if Carrie was a mom. I don't think it's Carrie's mom. I think it's Carrie if Carrie was a mom because Carrie's mom is like a child abuser. This is not a child abuser.
Okay.
She's just kind of eccentric because she's like artist eccentric.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that because this lady has made the scariest fucking thing that you could possibly imagine.
It also looks like a grown man, not like her 10-year-old daughter.
You're telling me that you... Because if it weren't for the eyes, like looking at this thing from the side, it looks like He-Man. Okay, so she made...
It looks like He-Man.
She made...
bust.
She made a bust of her daughter's head. I guess because if what happened to Carly Beth didn't happen, she was gonna try to trap her daughter's soul into this head.
The He-Man bust.
The fuck is going on?
I don't know. I don't know why she thought this was gonna like make her feel, but it does because she's just like, oh, this is actually really cool. Like, good job, mom.
At least great. Carly Beth does say this is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
and
at least
Carly
she
Beth's
does.
mom is like, what's creepy about it? She's like, no, I like it. It's just, why did you do this? Just like, because I love you.
Well, she's also being a little self-deprecating with that. It's like, why would you want anything that looks like me? Why would you want anything that reminds you of me? I'm such a me. You know, like, that's...
I would say that's because Carly Beth lacks confidence.
She has no confidence.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought you were saying it's because she's like one of those, like, oh, I'm just like... whatever.
Oh, she's not going like, pick me. Oh, I'm so not that great, but tell me how great I am. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, she's super self-deprecating because she's preteen and going through hormones.
She does get spooked. And Rachel, I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with this, and this is why I have a couple of fan theories for you. So she freaks out and puts the thing back on the pole because she says it smiled at her.
Yeah, it was creepy. Like she did a good job acting that. Like, what the hell did it
because
just do?
they ran out of budget, so it's just her reacting to it.
That's the first time. The first time.
Yes.
The second time.
But that's pretty good because if you're a little kid, let's say you're a little kid watching this, what's scarier, seeing the thing smile or being told by someone like? And seeing the person's reaction to it, because your imagination.
That imagination, that little bit of mystery, does make it way worse.
Yeah,
it does. But then doing it the second time, and then you actually get to—it's like creepy. You're just like, what the hell?
Yeah. So the mom says, "You're letting Halloween get to you like nothing happened." She's like, "Yeah, you're right." So we get a shot of this bust, and it does smile.
The mouth moves.
So, Rachel, a couple of questions.
I know.
Are we to believe... excuse me, Mr. Stein, but are we to believe that this is some kind of magic mask bust? So my question is, did she... The mom... is the mom taking a class with the creepy... Is that the teacher?
Is that what happened?
Because it's like he trying to perfect this to be done right.
God.
Because then does he allow Carly Beth to take the mask to see if like he got it to work? Because it's like, oh yeah, he saw the mom doing it, and then he like puts two and two together when he sees Carly Beth.
Oh my god! And he recognized He-Man as Carly Beth. Yeah.
Yeah. Or in this world, in this particular Twilight Zone Goosebumps world, are all masks just evil?
Oh, it's weird though, because it's now that you say that, I like this canon idea that she went and took a class from him to make the bust. Like, he's been in town for like a few weeks, and now she's like, I'm gonna take a class from the
I am your
maker.
guest teacher.
Yeah.
And we are going to teach you how to make masks. You see, masks capture the soul and the essence of... I mean, that's kind of what you're getting at. Yeah,
but I mean, I like that, because otherwise, why in the hell is the mom's mask moving? It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. So Carly Beth goes to her room, and the mom told her that her duck costume was there, because apparently at some point Carly Beth said to the mom that it would be fun to be a duck for Halloween. So the mom, I guess, made this duck costume.
Oh my god, it's an awful costume. I'm just gonna point that out right away.
So she hears something behind her door, and it turns out that it is, not to steal a phrase from We Hate Movies, but it is a little shit boy.
Oh my god, I can't stand him.
This brother is a worse little turd shit boy.
He's the worst thing ever. He deserves a smack. Like, seriously. Ugh.
He put on this duck costume, which apparently also fits him somehow, because he's a foot shorter than her.
Well, I think it's like a bit big, but yeah, you're right. It does kind of fit him.
I guess it's a little big. But yes, puts on this duck costume and scares her. So again, she's getting scared. She's getting scared left and right. The next day must be Halloween.
Oh yeah, because there's like a few kids in costumes.
Yeah, and there's some pumpkins around and stuff like that, setting the mood. Did you see in the background that there's a pumpkin there's like a scarecrow jack-o'-lantern being hung in a tree?
I did not see that before.
Do you
I think
see that now?
I do. I don't think it was intended that way, but I definitely see it.
Yeah, we didn't worry about that kind of stuff in 1995. The bullies come by, they scare Carly Beth again, and then they apologize for scaring her. And they're only doing this so that they can distract Carly Beth, so that they can put a worm on her sandwich.
It made me so mad. It made me so mad.
Carly Beth takes a bite of the sandwich and then realizes that there's a worm in it and freaks out. And then we get a true Carrie moment, Rachel.
Oh
because
my
the
God,
entire
yes.
schoolyard laughs at her.
I couldn't stand this
They're all
whole
gonna
scene.
laugh at you. They're all laughing at her.
Like, that's what it felt like. They're all pointing and laughing and stamping their hands, and this clown kid doesn't really know what to do. And then it's just like the most awkward thing. I guess I have to say, maybe I'm giving Sabrina a mean thing, but she didn't laugh. So I should be nicer. She didn't laugh at this point, but I just felt like she would be in on it. But maybe I'm just projecting.
I can't remember if it was the director or if it was R.L. Stine that said that they were going to use a rubber worm for the scene, and Carly Beth, the actress playing Carly Beth, Catherine Long, was all up for doing a live worm.
Good for her.
Good for her, but like nowadays, no. Because one, you'd be like, no, we're not, no harm to animals, like we're not doing eating of the worm on
Well, I don't
set.
even think she actually took a bite of it.
I don't think she did take a bite of it. I think it was
there
just
wasn't
near.
a bite out of the worm. Yeah.
So
she just felt it move.
A little funny thing while we're talking about the name of Catherine Long. So I saw this on a YouTube comment. I think Dr. Wolfula was reviewing this episode, and I wanted to see if I could find it on YouTube too. And somebody put in a comment that one of the most interesting thing about this episode is that Carly Beth's actress's name is Catherine Long, and Sabrina's actress's name is Catherine Short, and both.
Oh my god! Oh, that's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
One of the differences between the book and the movie, and I have not read the book in quite a long time, so this is me just poking notes from the internet here, is that instead of the worm thing, it's a tarantula that is at a science fair, and they scare her using the tarantula, and then that gets her to be ready to like take revenge. That might have made more sense, but it probably would have been way more expensive to shoot.
Probably because they have to make a whole fair. There'd
Yeah.
have to be like those
This
trifolds
is just-
everywhere.
just
with
hang
different
out-
things.
Just go hang
in
out
the
on
gym.
go hang out on the park there, and we'll just shoot it, and we'll get a good shot.
They're just
here.
having lunch.
We're just having some lunch. It's fine. So she goes home. She's all upset. She's crying, and then she has her Selena Kyle moment because she decides to flip the fuck out and just destroys the duck costume. And
Well, the first part, she like just lays down and starts reading a friendship magazine.
well, she's trying to get her mind off of it, but she.
I know, but I just love the fact that it's a friendship magazine.
Yes,
because
and all her
everybody's an asshole
friends.
and she has
You
no
have
friends.
betrayed me, world.
Yep. And,
Yeah.
and then she just rips the hell out of that duck costume. I kind of wanted the duck costume to come back at some point.
Yeah, me too.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But
It's
she
an
does.
ugly ass costume, but it doesn't come back.
She straight up Catwoman's this duck costume. So then she goes over to her dresser, and I thought she was gonna go full Selena Kyle and just start tearing up all
Like,
of her
ripping
outfits.
everything out.
She doesn't do that. She pulls out her $30 that she's saved up. And she's like, yes, I'm going to show those fucking bastards what's what. It's my fucking turn. So she goes to the novelty shop because she knows that there's Halloween stuff there. And she confidently walks in and she's like, give me the fucking scariest goddamn mask you have. Because I have these fucking turds that need to be scared, god damn it.
Honestly, if she was that confident talking to the man, sure. She's not.
No. No,
she does
is
walk
not.
in very confidently, is enjoying the shop.
Yeah, she actually is having some fun looking at some of the stuff and all these like different masks. At one point there is... Did you see this mask that looks just like Larry David? So she is walking around and evil Nazi German guy is like, who are you? What are you doing in my shop? And she's like,
It's like, well, shopping.
It's a store. So...
Do you just live here and just have like your collection of masks? Like you
This
made it
is-
look like a store.
This is where you're saying she should not get any credit for the I'm Carly
It was
Beth.
too much. It was too much.
Yes, I think
It went
they
on
should
for
have.
too long. Do another take.
Who are you?
I'd like to buy a mask for Halloween, please.
We're closed.
Only a minute, please. I really need a mask. I won't be long.
That was the best take they had. So she says she needs a mask. The phone rings, and he's like, "You can look at anything on the wall, but don't look at anything else."
Which, I mean, makes sense. Everything is out. This is what you can look at. Don't go in the back. Yes. Typical store rules right there.
There's a little bit of evidence here to back up my claim, Rachel, because he's talking to somebody named
Oh my god.
Ludkov.
All I wanted to do was, like, listen to this conversation.
Do you have the stuff? We need the
And
stuff
he
by
didn't
midnight.
want her. He didn't want... And I don't care about customs and everything.
He has no intention on selling anything in this store.
Which... I mean, honestly, it could be bodies because he is making these creepy ass masks out of like real skin and stuff.
Yes.
So
I was a little afraid when he points out the lamp, and I was like, "Oh dear Lord, what is that lamp made out of?"
he's got a lot of masks. Like they're fun masks, to be quite honest. I feel like nowadays you don't get fun masks like this. You'd have to like pay up the ass to get something like this.
Oh yeah, these type of masks would be pretty expensive.
Like, I could see, like, cosplayers making really cool masks like this, but I just, like, you go to a costume shop, you're not getting fun masks.
Right. You're just getting like a more plasticky mask. These are like full-on rubber.
Oh yeah, they go over your
leathery
face. They're like
masks.
they're true like movie costume masks.
Yeah. You know what else too that this scary man is saying? He keeps going, I do not care about the customers. So yes, very
you weren't listening
clearly.
I just said that.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Well, I guess he says I don't care about customers. I thought he said I don't care about customs.
Oh no, he said
because like
I thought
like,
you were,
the
I thought you
customs
meant
as in,
like he doesn't
it's
care
being...
about Halloween, like it being
No,
a custom.
I thought he said like I didn't realize it was. I thought it was customers, and then I was like,
if
maybe
he said
it's his
I don't care
accent.
about customs, that would be even more. Like
I really did.
we
I
need
was
this
like,
shit shipped in tonight.
I mean, it's really. I was like, maybe it is customers when we were like first watching it, because I'm like, he is being an ass to this person who wants to buy something from his store. But then I was like, maybe it's customs, and he's having something shipped in, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah. No, maybe it is customs. Maybe my subtitles were wrong when I wrote it down.
But yeah, he doesn't care about customers. He doesn't care about anything.
And I don't know, dude. If you don't want people going behind your door with all of your evil, haunted demon masks, maybe lock it.
Well, I think he was closed. I don't even think he technically was open.
Then lock your front door.
Agreed.
Then,
there should be a sign. There should be, it should be locked.
You could, at the very least, then have recorded a scene where she knocks on the door and he goes, "No, we are closed." And she goes, "But I need a mask. I have money."
Right. And then he lets her in and says, "Fine, you get 5 minutes."
She keeps knocking on the door, and he's like, "Fine, 5 minutes." And then he forgot to shut the door or lock the back door.
Right.
Come on, R.L. Stein. I've got to tell this millionaire how to.
She goes into his Frankenstein
how
laboratory.
much money do you think R.L. Stein's worth? Like $1 billion? I
don't know.
Do you think R.L. Stein's a billionaire? 200 million.
Huh.
I'd take it.
What, like you kill him to get the money?
No, I'm just saying, like it's pretty good. You know?
Well, yeah, he wrote all those books.
Anyway,
stupid.
So anyway, she goes into this room and there's a wall of masks, hideous masks, all actually very well articulated, very well done.
Oh, yeah.
And she looks at this one that's on the end that has, Rachel, I'll let you describe the mask.
The swamp thing?
You think so?
I mean, slightly. I mean, it's got like the swamp thing like bumps around the head.
It's
and
green.
It's green. It's got sharp,
daggery,
long,
vampire
fangy
teeth.
Yeah, it looks angry.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's an angry mask, and she wants to
very, very, very sharp cheekbones.
Yes,
yeah.
It's a very good looking mask. I'll give him that. It's the best part of this episode is the mask in general. The effects on the mask, the way that it becomes more slimy and skin-like.
Oh yeah.
As the episode goes on, and it starts off looking like a rubber mask, and then it gets more lifelike as it goes on.
Yes.
So she goes to touch it and grab it, and he goes no before
But
like
the
she
eyes
can.
open too.
The eyes open. That was pretty good.
There's eyes on it.
That was a good effect.
Where
That
did
actually
the eyes come from?
That looked good. I thought that
It
effect
looked
looked pretty good.
It did look good. I would assume that somebody had the mask on for that part, right?
It looks too good to just be like the CGI eyes and the floating heads that we see later on. So I think so.
Okay.
For that shot, I think it had to have been, because it looks like real eyes.
Well, because even when, like, now he says something and she turns, and then all the masks turn towards the green one, like...
Yeah. And they kind of look at Carly Beth. So he intimidates her, and he kind of tells her, like, you cannot take these masks. He locks the door.
He locks the door! That's creepy. Just let her leave. Tell her to get
she's
out.
thinking, oh boy.
Oh my god, what have I gotten myself into?
The yearbook's gonna be dedicated to me next year.
It feels like when he yells that he wasn't even, like, was he yelling at her? I thought he was yelling at the mask, because, like, she runs back and he continues forward towards the mask. And I was like, were you yelling at the mask?
I think that's kind of what's implied, that he was kind of yelling at the mask.
Okay, because it was like one of those, like, stop it, and then like he goes towards it instead of her. It's just like, okay.
He tries to bargain with Carly Beth, because he's like, yes, these are very, very frightening masks. And she's like, well, yeah, you see, there's these guys that I'm trying to scare, and he's like, look, I can get you a nice gorilla mask. We can go out
there's
front.
Gotta be something out front.
There's something out front that I can give you. And she's like, no.
There was a good zombie one out there. I would have used that one.
And she's like, no. That's not going to scare these guys. Carly Beth, come on. You think that these masks are going to scare anybody? You need to come with a prank. You need a good, solid prank.
Well, if you have a good mask and you come out of like the shadows, yeah, that would be scary.
Yeah, I guess it's an effort. Carly Beth is a square.
You gotta have a few, like, you know.
Yeah, she's a square. She doesn't know exactly how to, like, scare people, I guess. So this is her best bet on what she's supposed to do. She's like, no, they're not going to be scared by that mask. I need that creepy-ass green haunted mask that you have. And he's like, no, cannot let you have this mask.
He's very adamant.
And when she explains it, he's like, oh, a revenge. I see. So he says, you have a nice face, Carly Beth. Again, pointing to my theory about how, you know, why he's getting something in mind. And
maybe I also have another reason as to why he said that.
Oh, you think he wants to take her face off? I want to take her face.
No. I wasn't going. I want to take
Chainsaw
her face. Massacre on that one.
What were you thinking?
His mask, his face. Like, we find out that his face gets ruined.
Yes.
So he's pretty much saying, you have a lovely face. Like, don't ruin your face. Like, with a mask, you don't have to cover it. I have to cover mine.
Right. Oh yes. At the end, that is what he says. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So that makes sense. So he tries to insist on her to not do this, but he's like, I'm not going to take any responsibility or anything like that. And then she's like, I have money. I have $30. Like, that's going to be enough to, like, sell
These
this man to sell his soul.
Masks. Yeah. So she grabs the mask, throw the money at him, and runs out the door.
Yes, because he unlocked the door to tell her, like, no, just please go. He could have caught up to her.
Oh, yeah.
He could have.
Oh, yeah. He could have caught up to her. It was, like, in the middle of the day, too. Can he not leave the house? Is that a part of, like, his... Does he have a curse
part of the
on
lore?
him?
I don't know. Yeah, because he closes the door. He puts closed on it, so he doesn't even come after her. So is it like he's just like, all right, I guess we'll see what happens. Like, yeah. He's just kind of like, all right, well, maybe it won't kill her. I don't know.
Everything will be fine, I guess.
So she goes home and puts the mask on, and at this point, it just looks like a very good, articulated rubber mask. I wonder if they've ever made this mask to, like, be able to purchase.
I don't know, because I kind of want one
mask.
now. I would love to, like, try one of these masks on, because, like, even when she, like, comes back, you have to, like, definitely do the makeup around your eyes and, like, do the glue so that it, like, sticks right, because it's like the full, it's gotta blend in with your body kind of a mask, but it looks fantastic.
So it's Halloween night, and she exits the room, and she scares her brother because she's doing
like a beetle or something, like a roach.
Yeah,
I think it's a
roach because that's
he's a little flea.
Yeah,
you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
So she's doing this voice, like the crypt keeper mixed with Carly Beth.
At him. And freaking him out. So just the mask is enough to freak out her little puke-stained brother. She's like, all right, I'll take the mask off, because he's like, come on, Carly Beth, you're scaring me.
How are you doing that voice? And it's like, because I'm doing a voice. Like, I'm doing a bit.
But
like...
she goes like, I don't know.
I know, but I think she's just joking.
I think at that point she's got to be joking, yeah. So she goes to take the mask off, and it's getting stuck, so she can't take it quite off. But she is able to get it off with some effort, because she's like, what's going on? And takes it off. The brother wants to try it on, and, you know... This is where he asks her, how did you do that voice? And she says, I don't know. And, like, looks back and forth. But then she goes, but I like it. So, like...
That is a little weird. That part is a little weird when she says,
That's why I'm
it.
saying I don't think she knows how she's doing the voice. But I guess to your point, she could have been fucking with him.
I thought she was still screwing with him a little bit, and she was like, yeah, I got, like, some confidence with the mask on, and I'm doing a voice.
Yeah, she likes, I like being bad. Yeah, that's what she's doing, yeah.
How'd you change your voice like that? That was the scariest part.
I don't know. But I like it.
So
I
she
also
put-
didn't know, is this like Mask Loki or something? Because it kind of reminded me of like, I want to go cause mischief kind of a mask.
Well,
character.
that is the plot of The Mask, the
Well, I know
1994 Jim
that,
Carrey
but it
movie.
just feels very similar. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, it's some sort of...
because it likes to cause mischief.
I have a feeling what it is that it is a little bit of... It absorbs the person's, like, essence kind of thing. So if it would have gone on somebody not as sheepish as Carly Beth, it would be doing some more evil stuff sooner.
Oh, yeah,
so
possibly.
it being on Carly Beth, it's trying to turn her...
The intent is a bit more mischievous than malicious.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it wants to do evil stuff. It just needs to turn Carly Beth heel even more. It needs to break her bad. And it's doing that starting by doing, like, if it was an adult story, absolutely. You'd be getting the adult story, the haunted mask murders someone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, if you took the same Goosebumps story...
It at least, like...
And you put them all for adults, which
wounds them.
I kind of want to do. We would...
Great.
Because, like, you could still do it. Because, like, R.L. Stein's books all have, like, a little bit of satire humor to them.
Right, yes.
They're all based on tropes of horror. So it would be kind of interesting to, like, okay, now re-adult them, but keep kind of the satire and the twist ending and that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So her mom's like, let me see your duck costume, and she doesn't want to obviously show her mom
that it's not a duck costume.
She's just going out with this mask on. So she, I guess, devises this plan where, oh, I can take my head on a stick, which, by the way, the mask is getting wetter at this point.
Yeah, you can already see it's kind of sweating a little bit.
Yeah. And the eyes are getting more connected to,
yes.
It's not like an eye hole anymore.
No,
if that makes sense.
looks like I said before with like the glue, it looks like she put that on to make it look like it blends in with her face.
Yes. So Carly Beth uses the head to trick her mom, I guess.
Does she? I don't remember her doing that.
I thought that's what she was gonna do. You're right, she doesn't.
No, so she takes the head and she puts it on like this stick. And I think the whole plan is to be like, look at me, I'm this monster that took Mary Beth's head type of thing. And she even makes it look like it's got blood coming out with like a
Oh, that's
like
what
a
that's
scarf?
supposed to be. I had no
Yeah.
idea what that was supposed to be. I thought she just didn't want people to see the stick.
No. It's supposed to be a head on a stick. Like I ripped her head off and shoved it on a stick, and you can see the blood coming out of it.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then so she she somehow like tricks her mom not to come into the room. The
Well,
mom
she tells
goes
her like I
back to
gotta go,
baking.
and then the phone call rings, or she's like the dad's on the phone or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that's what it was. She got distracted, so like that was easy enough, right?
I
So
thought that what she was gonna do was stick the head around the corner and try to make her mom think that was her.
Now, if that would have happened, good God, is that super corny? Then her mom is like, oh my God, my He-Man daughter! Look at how fantastic I did that.
So Carly Beth is going around and she's scaring kids and stuff, and then
she's kind of doing that voice.
She's
and
doing
just, like,
the
creeping.
voice. Yeah.
She sees two figures that are like the size of the turd kids from the beginning.
And they're really not. They look way smaller than the turd kids from the beginning. I thought.
Yes, but it's like one's taller, one's shorter. That's like, I think what
Yeah.
all she was looking for.
She thinks it's them, it's not them, so she's like, well, it's a good thing that you're not, because I would kill you!
Yeah, pretty much. She goes like insane, like, oh my God, I would have gone after you then.
But it turns out, like, this is the friend's house, so the friend comes out dressed like a mouse.
I thought she was a rat.
Duh.
A mouse. Duh. Yeah, I definitely also thought
She's a
she was
squirrel,
like a rat.
right?
A chinchilla, maybe?
I think she's a cat at the end. Because
She
somebody
is a
does
cat.
ask her
She
what
does
she
tell
is.
us, and she
Yeah.
goes, "I'm a cat," and they're like, "You look like a hamster," but it's like, but I'm like, I agree, but I thought she was like the rats because she's about to go dance with like the ballerinas in like the Nutcracker or something.
I thought she was a mouse. I was glad that they added that in because I feel like they made this actress this costume, and everyone was like, are you a mouse? and the script, and they were like, well, the script says it's a cat. So then they had to write that in because they were like, yeah, this doesn't look anything like a cat.
Now I'm starting to feel bad for Sabrina because I really did think she was kind of a mean girl, but like thinking about it and talking about it, I don't think she is a mean girl at all. And then she gets like crapped on for her outfit and everything. And she just has to deal with her scaredy cat of a friend.
And the duck costume would have went better with the mouse, too. So they would have actually had semi-matching costumes.
Yeah, it would have made more sense. Otherwise, now she's just like the rat sidekick, you know? to the golem
monster.
Golem monster.
Sabrina is like, oh, this is like a really creepy mask. It's freaking me out a little bit.
She liked it. She did think it was pretty cool, but also like, ugh.
But she's like,
too much.
Can you like take the mask off for just a second? And instead of doing anything like taking the mask off or anything, Carly Beth decides to flip the fuck out and starts like
well, because all she wants to do is find the other two turds and get her revenge. That's it. She's very on this mission to get them.
Yes. And part one actually ended with her like shaking the friend. Now, the night that this premiered, this was a full-on hour. So we got to watch the second part right away as kids, Rachel. I don't know what if in syndication, if it did it part one. Don't do that. Rachel just made it look like fucking cares to me.
I'm sorry. No, keep talking. Tell your story.
My point is, much like the Twilight Zone, I think that Goosebumps could be served well by doing half-an-hour shows, because a lot of this second half repeats itself and drags a bit.
Kind of does, yeah.
Now, that isn't to say I understand doing the two-parters for a lot of these because it's a book. And if you want to do the book, you need to get everything that would be in the book. And
yeah, all the good points that you want to keep, right?
Right. But I feel like maybe then they could have, I don't know. Like, there's parts in this second half where I'm kind of like, get to the next point, please. Like, especially that scene with her and the two little shits. Like, it feels like, okay, we get it.
It goes on a little bit, yeah.
So, anyway, Carly Beth wasn't really possessed by the haunted mask when she was shaking her friend. She was like, I'm just screwing with you. Like, I kind of like scaring people. Is this the point where you were like, what was the direction? Because she's like, I kind of like it. I'm getting into character. And she's like, she starts acting like the Jim Carrey mask.
She laughs, and it's just like, and then it's just like this weird thing. And then the mask looks like it's sweating more already, and it's like
well, that's
why
I
think it's acting like goofy. I want to be mischievous, like itself.
Yes. Well, and it's got to be kind of hot, like she's wearing this mask. And she keeps like being like, I like scaring people. And Sabrina's like, well, you're doing a good job of it, you fucking psycho. Sabrina's like, I hope we make it through the night because she's going to fucking go to school tomorrow with this mask on and she's going to freak everybody out and we're going to be on code blue even though that's not a thing yet.
Oh my God.
So they open the door to the first house to go trick-or-treating. This is where the one kid is like, what the hell are you supposed to be? And she's like, I'm a mouse, duh. And
well, I'm a little confused as to why these two children in their pajamas. Like, it feels like a Christmas scene more than a Halloween scene.
No, they went trick-or-treating earlier. They're back with the mom to hand out candy.
I guess. So they just want to see the costumes, I guess. It just seemed kind of silly. Like, why aren't the kids still in costumes?
Pajamas, aren't they?
I still think they should be in, like, costumes or something.
It's a bit weird. It's the 90s. Everybody had a bedtime, an early bedtime or something like that.
Sure.
Carly Beth tries to scare this little girl by telling her that she's gonna die up there or something like that. You're gonna die up there. And then she pisses on their stoop.
I mean, the mom says she's gonna call the police, so she may as well have. She's like takes one piece of candy and walks away. But it's like, yeah, a scary kid in a scary mask tried to scare your kids. I'm not surprised that happened. You're not gonna be able to call the police on her. That's not how that works.
It's a child wearing this child wearing this demon mask running around, and I think we need to
going boo and stealing a piece of candy and leaving.
So she even kind of changes her gait at this point. Like she's kind of like walking like a little more like.
That's true. She is. She's walking like she's a goblin.
And Sabrina's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" So Carly Beth is trying to be like, "It's not me, it's the mask." And I can't tell if she means it. I can't tell if she's...
I think it's kind of both. I think it's influencing her to act the way she is acting.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's Carly Beth, but she's not really recognizing until somebody points it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's truly like just taking over and influencing
she's
her
fighting
to continue.
she's fighting to get through there. If she starts talking backwards English or gets a paler complexion, then we'll know something's wrong.
Yeah.
So she tells Sabrina she wants to go make fun or scare more people, and she's gonna go find those two little bastards to kill them.
She doesn't want to be the scarable Carly Beth anymore. She wants to be this goblin character that she's created.
And Sabrina's like, I just want to trick or treat, man. And so she's like, well, then I'll meet back with you later.
And then runs off and like scares this group of children, and then runs down the street. It's like, all right. And I feel like at this point, Sabrina, just go home. Or grab your candy and then don't even find your friend again. Just grab your candy and go home and eat.
I mean, she's like
enjoy.
Carly Beth's like breaking pumpkins. She's like turned into a little nutcase.
Yes.
And I think that it's interesting because it's like Carly Beth, maybe instead of going after these little kids, go after the kids your age that tormented you.
Right.
Why are you scaring all these little kids? Now you're just a weirdo bully.
Yeah, now you're just being a bully.
Because there's a couple of scenes where it just kind of shows her like chasing kids down and scaring the shit out of people. We find out that Bulk and Skull, for lack of a better term, because I don't remember their fucking names.
Steve is one of
them.
them.
It's
I
like
think.
Steve and Carl
Steve
or
and Chuck.
something. Chuck.
Chuck.
Okay, whatever. Who cares?
They're pirates.
Bulk and Skull. They're dressed up as
Skull.
They're dressed up as pirates. They decide to go count their fucking candy in a graveyard, like a couple of That's psychotic. That's psychotic
weird.
Behavior.
As a child, absolutely.
These two kids are going to be dealing drugs by the time they're 17 years old.
Okay, but it's even weirder, okay? It's weirder than you're making it out to be because they go into the cemetery. They go into this place. And then they're singing Yo Ho Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me and doing like the swing dance around each other. All right.
Yeah.
I don't understand these two characters anymore.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. For many reasons.
Many reasons.
I was just
weird.
like, I was like, what is going on? Like, why are they doing this? And then I wondered if they stole the candy, like pirates.
No,
so then they were doing like a
booty?
Festive like pirate dance.
Yes.
That's the only way I can possibly justify.
Or maybe that's what they were
two.
pretending to be. Like, yes, we have our booty, our treasure, and then like going out, they're counting it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. So the one tries to scare the other and is getting too excited about this. Now, mind you, folks, this is Canadian child acting on Goosebumps. So it is the worst acting you've ever fucking seen because the one kid's like, stop it, Steve! Stop it! And the other one's like, ha ha!
Oh my god.
In your face!
It's because that's the taller one that's gone through puberty, so he's even worse because he thinks he's like perfect.
Yeah, this kid got his first pube last night and thinks that he's hot shit. So Carly Beth comes into the graveyard, and we get a lot of POV of Carly Beth behind the mask at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And she just comes out from behind a tree and is like, Tasmanian devil yells.
She could have done this way better, like be creepy and like being a shadow. And
yes, she could have
making noises.
Okay. And again, this is where the pacing is all off, because instead of yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, which they aren't even allowed to say on Fox Kids, it could have been a couple of more minutes of her stalking them through the graveyard and then jump scaring them.
Right, like popping up from behind a tombstone would even be better.
And then them being like, "Oh, it's Carly Beth. Like, you scared the shit out of us." And then
but they like figure it out right away too. Well, how did they figure that out right away?
Well, she's wearing the same shirt that she was earlier in the day, and it's the voice. Like,
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about it. I thought she would decide to wear stripes like Freddy Krueger and then put on like a long black coat. So I didn't know what she was doing.
Maybe that is the reference with the striped shirt, Rachel. I didn't know about that. So the mask
she is wearing like her dungarees and stuff still.
Yeah,
like,
but the voice is there. I don't mind that they figured it out right away, because like you probably could figure it out. At least it wouldn't take you that long to figure it out. I don't know.
I guess, yeah. But at this point, the mask is really gross.
It's changed completely. It's no longer has that rubber look to it, like a rubber mask that it did before. Now it looks like they sat her in makeup for 10 hours. They made this thing.
Oh, yeah.
The teeth have changed. It moves with her mouth now slightly. Mm-hmm. The eyes, when she blinks, her eyes have green eyelids, like the mask's eyelids and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. It is actually really, really good for Fox Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
And the mask is now telling the two little shits to apologize to Carly Beth. And he's
like saying, like, look at the stick. This is Carly Beth. I took her head.
I took her head off, and now you have to apologize.
I mean, he's not lying. He's actually telling the truth.
And it's actually like, if you think that Carly Beth has a knife or a gun, you probably would be like, you know what, dude? Let's just apologize to the stick.
Well, I'm actually kind of surprised that
she's got fucking carry powers or something.
Well, because they're like, gee whiz, Carly Beth, you actually like scared us, and like that's how they're acting, and I'm surprised they're like, it's like, wow, Carly Beth, you actually like scared us, is what I would have expected from these two turds.
Like these two should have been like
a bit of more like impressive, like good, like nice.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah, no, they're actually like.
And then
terrified.
when she continues on, then they're like, like that should have been the acting. I think is the way that it should have been.
And I kind of wonder if that's what the book does. I kind of wonder if the book does a better job of building to this, because they like immediately are on their knees like, okay Carly Beth, we're
when it's like she's the scaredy cat Carly Beth that you've been torturing her entire life. You wouldn't have just immediately backed down, I don't think.
I went to the Wikipedia page because I wanted to see if it says
like what's the differences.
It says that she strangles Sabrina, so she actually does strangle her in the book.
Oh my god. Oh, that's dark.
Obviously they're not going to show that on the show.
Right.
And it doesn't say, and she frightens children she does not know. It doesn't say anything about Steve and Chuck.
Smashing pumpkins? Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go. Eventually she finds Chuck and Steve and scares them. Okay, so it doesn't really say. It says exactly what does happen. So, okay. It doesn't say. I would assume that it's built up a little better in the book, though. That's just me assuming. You know, it's impossible to actually
I would kind of hope so, especially since you just said that she strangles Carly, or that she actually strangles Sabrina.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I love that. That's horrifying. I kind of expect it to be a bit darker and a bit more building with these two characters as well.
Yeah.
And so they just make them back down immediately instead of actually like.
But then
them do other stuff.
In a moment where I could see this actually frightening children, the head, the plaster of Paris head, says, "Help me, help me."
And now I'm questioning everything. All right. Because this head already moved earlier in this movie. Is this a different soul the mom has, like, put into this head? Or is it Carly Beth?
That's an excellent question. Is the mom a member of the occult and has put another soul in here?
I'm just saying.
Fantastic. The other possibility that we aren't thinking of is that the mask is just using the plaster of Paris to scare them.
Oh, that's a good idea, too. I like that. It's like a puppet now.
Yeah, like a ventriloquist dummy type
of thing. A ventriloquist dummy. Yeah.
The other possibility is that the mask is trying to transfer Carly Beth's soul into the head so that it can take over the body.
Yes. That's what I was originally thinking, but then this head moves at the beginning of the movie and or show, and it just confused me.
No, you had it right. Yes. This is a movie. It's a high quality film.
Well, the mask is, but
so the two little shits run off, and the mask Carly Beth starts howling at the moon like a fucking werewolf.
Okay, all right, with the howls. And then the goblin decides to bury the head.
Yeah, she
'Cause I think you're
defaces
right.
a graveyard.
Yes. But I do think that at this point, Carly Beth is in the head because that's why he's burying it. Because it's like, okay, the goblin's gonna I'm gonna bury this and then it's never gonna come back.
Yeah, then
like,
will, yes, I will take over for Carly Beth. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. I don't know, man. I don't care if you're a demon from hell or whatever.
You really shouldn't be digging.
Yeah, don't dig in a graveyard. I don't care if it's, it's just some like little plot under a tree. It's not good. It's not good. But she buries the head. So now the mask is just apparently fully taken over, and she's like,
and like running like a crazy thing through everywhere.
So it's not quite the sound mix from an Exorcist or anything like that, but it's creepy enough for a little kid for sure. This is where like she does a cartwheel and like saunters away, and this is
weird.
So intimidating.
What did they tell her to do?
Eventually, I guess because the mask kind of wears itself out, she makes her way back to town, and Sabrina is like, the hell were you? And she's like, I don't know, I found them and I scared them and stuff. I thought that stuff was happening to her hands. It's just because that she was burying the head.
Yeah, she was
I thought
I
thought the green was like, I thought like her whole body was changing.
Which, I mean, that would be even better. That it's like truly just like creeping down her entire body and taking over. I would love that.
That would have been a little bit different, yeah. So Sabrina asks if she scared Chuck and Steve.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I think so. And she's like, you didn't
She's
hurt
like,
them, did you?
The eyes are just constantly like darting.
It's a little disturbing because it's like, I know that Carly Beth is capable of murder. So I have to make sure.
Let me make sure my quiet friend didn't do something.
Sabrina, for your part, said that she was going to, 1, share this candy with Carly Beth, and 2, share it with her cousin because the cousin wasn't able to go out.
I mean, that's actually pretty nice.
So, I mean, there you go.
Sick. Yeah.
I do get your point,
you know
though.
what, Sabrina? I take it back. You're a nice kid.
She might be an asshole. I think she's a nice kid. She could be bad. She could be mean. She was getting her jollies off of Carly Beth's expense, you know. So Carly Beth tries to take the mask off because she's like, yeah, it's hot as shit in here, and I'm clearly sweating on the outside of this mask very disturbingly. And she tries to take the mask off, and it won't come off. And she's like trying to pinch it, and it won't come off or anything like that. Right. So she's freaking out, and she goes to grab scissors to cut the mask off. And Serena's like, whoa.
Yeah, like that's dangerous.
Let's try a couple of other things first.
Before you start stabbing yourself in the face.
So she goes to take the mask off.
From the bottom,
yeah.
Right? Because it's like, that's where, like, okay, let me just get it from the bottom. Maybe it's just, like, suction cupped in.
Yeah. Swelled up or you're allergic to it and it like, sticking to your body. No.
It's fused.
And what's a pretty good idea for sure is, like, there's no end. Like,
there is no end. It's becoming part of you now.
You can see that being kind of horrific, of, like, there's no end to this mask.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And it does look good, because, like, she pulls down the shirt and
they do a pretty good
like,
makeup job. The makeup is very good in this episode. She's like, this isn't me, I'm not this, and she's freaking out. And she runs off and leaves Sabrina there, and she runs all the way to the mask store.
Yes. She goes back to the guy with the mask store. And he, like, was waiting for her.
Do you think so?
Yes, because he, like, opened the door before she was even across the street. So he was, like, waiting in the window going, I can't leave this place because I have some curse that doesn't let me leave.
She'd be back. Yeah.
And it's just like, I was waiting for you to come back because I knew you were getting your comeuppance from this.
That doesn't let me leave this front. Maybe he's just afraid that if he leaves, the masks will...
I guess he could just be agoraphobic.
Follow? I don't know. Let's go with that.
That's true. Maybe he has to just keep an eye on the masks because they just kind of have a mind of their own.
Do you think that this guy looks a little bit like Putin too?
Oh my god!
He's got a little. He looks a little like Putin.
I mean, yeah, but
he does.
Maybe he just made a Putin mask and put it on. I don't know.
Rachel, can I ask you to do this because I'm not sure. I just saw this and I wanna know if it's what I thought I saw. At
That lamp looks ridiculous.
15 minutes and 8 seconds.
15 and 8?
Yeah. There's a witch, like shadow in green light. Is that a person? Because that doesn't look like a mask. That looks like a person. So they're walking through the store at 15 minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh. I didn't see that. Wait, I didn't see that. That is creepy. I think that's a person.
So, like, obviously it might just be like a creepy cameo, or they just wanted to fill it out with like a witchy mask or something like that. But I think he's got a whole person stuck there.
Person. I mean, you got that, and then you have that weird bell-shaped mask on the table next to the lamp. That's like melting.
I don't want to know what that lamp is. I'm just saying.
Mask.
I don't know where this lamp is from.
But
it looks like a face.
It's very phallic.
Where did he get this mask? Where did he get this lamp? Folks can do their own history lesson on that. So this is where he explains to Carly
that mask.
Which one? The lamp
weird,
mask?
like phallic mask in the table.
So there's all these masks on the table that were by the one that she picked out, and he explains to them. I cannot quite understand this. I don't understand.
Okay, maybe I can explain. Go on.
So he says that they're the unloved ones. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's less that, right? So you gotta go back a little bit more.
Okay.
So he created these masks, and they weren't ugly, right?
Right.
He created these masks that he could wear because he wanted a beautiful face again, right? Something happened to this man. I don't remember if he like explains like what happened to him, if he was like in an accident, if there was a fire or something. But something happened to his face. And so
Is that's why he has the scar on his face, or because he says it's getting worse?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. So each
you're
of
right.
these
Okay,
masks he wears, and they become evil. So they become monsters and like become like worse and worse. So like the one he's wearing that's like bubbling on the cheek, that is his current mask that is becoming ugly. And so they become the unloved ones because nobody wants that face because it's ugly and it's monstrous and it's bad. And it's not beautiful anymore.
Okay.
I don't know if this is like a whole take on getting old or like something.
I don't remember. I could not tell you if Goosebumps books had themes in it like that.
But that's how I took it, is like that's what's happening with all of these masks. These each were, and I think the one that she has on must be like the first one, and each one progressively was just getting worse and worse. And so he just has to keep making these like real masks to hide his own face. And he does, like he said, I don't want to show you what's under here.
Yes.
Like now I'm like curious. I kind of wish I got to see what was under his mask.
So if I am to understand this correctly, based on what you're saying, there's also an audiobook, so you could play it in Spotify. It's only 2 hours and 29 minutes. It's shorter than a fucking Shelf Life episode.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think I understand this. So what you're saying is, this man has a deformed face for whatever reason.
I think so.
And he has enough knowledge of the occult that he decided, I'm going to make these...
Science and the occult. Remember, he's got beakers.
Yes, he could be from Latveria. He might be a Dr. Doom scientist.
That's just kind of what it made me think.
He has decided, I'm going to use masks trapping some sort of souls or something, and that will become my new face. But because he used the occult to do this and dark magic, the masks become evil.
There's a price.
He has to remove the masks
ugly
eventually and create a new one.
Yes.
Okay.
And so now they sit there and they're unwanted because he doesn't want to wear them. Nobody wants them because they're ugly and unwanted. But then she came and
they're
she's
ugly
like,
and tacky and I hate them.
Yep. And so she comes in and goes, ooh, I want one because they're like scary and I want this. So now they're all like, oh, wait, she actually likes us? She wants us? So now they're really being like becoming attached to her, I think is the idea.
Okay.
And it's like they want to be loved. They want to be wanted.
Loved.
Because they have like their own life force, I guess.
Like, yeah, like you said, like some sort of force or something like that. So, yes, he explains to them that for some reason, now they're all attached to Carly Beth. And she freaks out because she's like, well, I need to get this off. I need to get this off. And he's like, you can't. This is your face now. This is you.
It's like, how did you take them off? He must have, like, literally peeled it back or something and, like, scalpeled it off.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if the second owner is like, that's just permanent, because like it is like,
oh, like, because he does ask how many times did you take it off, so maybe there is only a number of times before it truly fuses to the body.
Yeah, something like that. So she's like, I only took it off once. So he says that there may be hope for you yet. We need an old priest, a young priest, and the power of love.
Love.
So a symbol of love is what is going to save her. She doesn't, I guess she puts 2 and 2 together. They never like quite make a point of it. The masks start to chase her because they all want...
What do you mean she puts 2 and 2 together?
Well, because she tries to get out of there, right? And
well, yeah, because the masks are starting to move on their own and chase her.
Yeah.
They want they want to be her mask.
She runs to the graveyard where she buried the head.
Right.
So she must be putting it a little bit of it together, like that could be a symbol of love. Right?
I suppose. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess she kind of forced that symbol as well. Like, this is me now. Like, I'm putting myself into it. So maybe she's trying to do some self-love type of stuff where it's like, I need to unbury my own person. I'm getting way too deep into this. Like...
We're examining this Goosebumps episode a little too much. Yeah,
I do think it's more of like the mother's love.
It's more of like, we've got 5 minutes left, guys. Let's wrap this shit up here.
I think it might be both, though, where she has to give herself love of her own person, and plus she has her mother's love, right?
I think it's supposed to be the mother's love, yeah. The
I
heart
like
of a
it. I
child
think it is both.
and a mother's care. So she undigs... We'll do that one day. It's on the list.
Oh, of course.
So she digs into the grave, she pulls out the mask, the bust, and she shows it.
Like, where are you, Carly Beth? Ooh,
yeah,
Carly
this
Beth.
effect is this
it's so awful.
This effect
It's
does
so
not
bad.
work. It's really bad. It's pretty terrible.
They might as well have put them on green screen sticks and like carried them through the graveyard. I think that would have
worked better. That would have worked better. Because they're almost like, is it just overlaid pieces of like the film over the film? I can't tell.
I have no idea.
But
maybe there are people wearing them and they're just kind of like going.
Yeah, the effect didn't work, so they're like, just make it really blurry. This looks like shit. So she chases them around with the bust, and they run away. And then the last,
she's like, "This is Carly Beth."
Yes, I'm not Carly Beth. This is Carly Beth, which is scary enough. I thought the twist was going to be one thing because I didn't remember this episode. It wasn't. I thought that the bust was going to try to take over her. At the end, I thought the bust was going to be like, was going to say something like, and then like wink, like I'm Carly Beth.
I'm actually Carly Beth.
Yeah.
And like the mask did take. Oh, like the bust became Carly Beth. Oh, I like it.
But she takes the mask off. It's back to just a rubber mask. At this point, Carly Beth, bury that mask, or take it back.
Yeah, why?
To
why
the strange man.
Why didn't you go back to the store? She takes it home.
She takes it home. Why would you not go back to the store and be like,
I
did
back
it?
To the store, I got it off. Here's your mask. I never want to see it again.
I never want to see you again, and I'm turning you into the authorities because I'm pretty sure that you're doing dog fighting and drug smuggling in this store. So she goes back to the house. Carly Beth, why are you still wearing that mask? The little brother says to her. And she's like, oh my God. And then it's the little brother's just screwing with her.
Little turd brother. I hate this little thing.
This little brother gets what he has coming to him right now.
That's
so
true.
The mom and Carly Beth reunite. She talks about how she loves her and all that shit. The power of love. And why didn't she wear the duck costume? And where's Sabrina? And she's just like, well, let's
all
just...
of those things.
Yeah. As they're doing this, little brother here puts the mask on.
Yep.
And that's the end of the episode. Because
there's no love for this little thing.
No.
Like, that's it. You're a little goblin forever now.
Oh, yeah. He's
because
just a
that's
little
what
shit.
you are.
Yeah. Definitely.
Maybe the dad that's in Chicago is just gonna come back and like,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
I actually like.
they
the
are
return.
they're taking a fucking, they're giving this like 2 or 3 potential tries, and then they're gonna shoot this thing with a shotgun.
Oh
this,
yeah,
this little kid is getting
well,
buried.
like the grosser thing is that like it immediately looks like disgusting
because he
on
has
this
no
kid.
soul. This little
That's
shit.
true. Oh, that's very true. So like this mask's like, oh, this is easy. This kid doesn't even have a soul. I can just immediately take this body.
So the end of Goosebumps, very much like the end of Twilight Zones or Tales from the Crypt, always had like a little twist. And very much like Tales from the Crypt, it was always like, yes, you thought you were safe, but really, well, you're in hell or whatever, and
Sure.
something bad happens to you anyway, even though you thought that you escaped.
Exactly.
So that's the reasoning for the brother getting the mask put back on him. And because it was the first episode and because it was the special, it goes back to Arl saying, and he goes, that wasn't too scary, was it? I watched it with my mom and dad. What did you think, guys? And it turns to Arlstein's mom and dad. I assume the real mom and dad, too, because why not? And they're, like, have exasperated looks on their faces, and their hair is standing up, because it was a hair-raising
Their hair is
tale.
white, their skin is pale, like white, and it's all sticky-uppy. Yeah. And then he goes, have a scary day, everyone.
Have a scary day, everyone.
I think they liked it. I hope you did too. Have a scary day, everyone.
He's like Mr. Rogers, if Mr. Rogers
A little
was
bit.
a
It's
horror
a bit of
host.
a bit of a Mr. Rogers meets, I don't know,
Stephen King.
something. Stephen King, I guess. Yeah.
I don't even know what kind of drugs that character takes. He takes uppers with downers just to level himself out.
No.
So that is Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask. The first episode of Goosebumps.
Yep.
And
That it was.
a very
That it
special
was.
treat. Rachel, does The Haunted Mask have shelf life?
Okay, so for me, all right. I remember some of the Goosebumps. I think a lot of the later ones, like the TV show, but I definitely remember that opening and everything, so it's very nostalgic. Okay.
Sure.
I want to go read the book now.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the book to see what that's actually
Shorter than
like.
a shelf life episode, you can get it
Sure.
done.
Oh, I could probably get it done in like an hour if I actually find the book.
Oh, you could probably read it faster than the audiobook, you mean?
Oh, 100%. But here's the thing.
You know it's folks at home, you know it's gonna be good when Rachel starts with here's the thing.
It was a little cringy to watch for me. Am I gonna watch it again? Probably only to look at pictures of the mask itself because I like how the mask looks and it would be really cool to have that mask.
Yeah.
Do I want to watch the show again? Not really. I'll go read the book though, like I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like way more curious about the true story of the book versus the watered down version of the show, which is kind of how I see it a little bit. I love the movie Mask and the all of that. That was great.
Yeah.
But for me, it is not on the shelf, unfortunately. Oh, I didn't put anything on the shelf. I feel bad. I don't think it is. It was entertaining in the fact that we can make fun of it, but yeah, not shelf worthy.
I had a lot of fun watching it and thinking of things to
yeah.
talk to you about.
Sure.
Like I think I said it probably offline, but I was like, yep, can talk about that. We can talk about that. We can talk about that. Making fun of that. Making fun of that. Talk about that. It was very, very easy to do that. It made for hopefully an entertaining episode for us.
Oh, sure. So I mean, like, if you think of it that way, it's a good one to joke with friends about.
Yes.
So yeah.
So I mean, in that respect, it's all right.
If it's in the bin and we see it, or if it's on TV and we're like, oh my god, let's make fun of this. Sure.
There's some nostalgia there, but to your point, I'm more nostalgic for the books than I am the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I remember thinking about like wanting to read the books more than the TV show. For me, I'm probably there with you. I think this is a lot of fun to watch. I do. I don't know if it would be in my regular rotation for Halloween, like, and then there was Shawn, for me. I think this one might be, like, every once in a while I watch it. If I'm truly thinking about it, it'll probably be more like, I'm going to enjoy our shelf life show.
Oh yeah, sure.
and I do think that it probably made for better fodder for us than necessarily something to watch. So
Just
yeah,
a bit of fodder.
it's not on the shelf for me. I will probably revisit it every now and then throughout my life. I'll probably try to show others, show future generations, or friends, kids, or whatever. Here's Goosebumps.
Definitely for kids. Definitely for kids.
Yeah.
So I'll even say that. I am an adult watching this, so for an adult shelf life, For a child, sure. I think this would have shelf life or box worthy because it is kind of creepy. It's childish, so you could probably still relate to even the kids that are in this one.
So in that vein, then, would you put it in the box as a time capsule for the future?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. For kids. So
Yeah.
I would say for like anything like that, yeah, I would put that in the box.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with...
Especially the books, maybe. More so books than the TV show.
Yeah,
but...
the books more than maybe the show. I think then it's probably not the shelf. It's probably like it's on YouTube. Just go watch it on YouTube. Yeah, it's on Internet Archive. It's on Netflix as of this recording. It might be on Disney Plus after. I don't know. So yeah, you can find it. It's there as the digital copy, and you can get it for free if you look in the right place. So it's not exactly like something that I would go out and buy or necessarily rewatch again, but sharing it with people, that might be something for it.
It's more like that's shareable nostalgia. That opening and like all of that kind of iconic stuff is great.
So that was Goosebumps episode number 1, book number 11. The Haunted, they knew they had to start with something good.
Oh, sure.
The Haunted Mask, directed by Timothy Bond, written by R.L. Stine, Billy Brown, and Dan Angel. It is not on the shelf. Digital.
Kind of in the box.
Digital box.
Digital maybe, yeah.
A digital box if you get it for free. Or it just happens to be there.
Yeah, it happens to be on. Watch it. Why not?
So that has been the first annual Shelf Life Halloween podcast of horror. We have completed a couple of things. We get to cross those off the list. Well, I guess it's time to pack up then, and we can get out of this graveyard. It's kind of weird that nothing spooky happened, though.
Well, there were those guys.
Yeah, they went the other direction, which was...
Yeah, which is good. You know, there's a lot of, like, it feels like pumped in, like, smoke, like, from Goosebumps.
Yeah, what is this? Like, it's like kind of
coming out of the ground
it's like
or something.
Yeah, well, all right. Oh, grab the bag of candy, though, before we go, because I'm not leaving those dots here. That's for damn sure. So delicious. Okay, well, until next time, then, keep on... What does R.L. Stine say? Have a scary day, everyone.
Beware, you were in for a scare.
Yes, happy Halloween to all of our all of our listeners out there. We hope that you enjoyed. Oh, we should mention for those that don't know, for those that are new, or for those that are looking for more Halloween scary episodes of Shelf Life, we do have a few that you can go also listen to if you just got done listening to this one and you want to keep your Halloween going. There's The Faculty, which is kind of Halloween adjacent, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah. We just did if you're listening to this when the episode dropped, the Pink Eye episode of South Park.
Oh,
so
yeah. There's
that's
that one.
part of volume 3, episode 2 or 3. And you can click the little time code on there for Pink Eye. Faculty was the first pilot episode of Shelf Life. Do we have anything else that's Halloween related?
Well, there's a big one.
Rachel, Rachel, Ghost was not Halloween related just because it had a ghost in it.
Oh, come on. Well, that's not what I meant.
Oh, what were you thinking?
Dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo, dee-doo-doo.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay, Thank you for playing into my bit.
Also
I
some
appreciate
Twilight
that.
as well.
Now, if you're listening to this in the future, we might have way more Halloween episodes. But yes,
Oh, absolutely.
we
And
did
if you're curious, you can always go to our website, and we try to put them into bundles so you can see which episodes you'd want to listen to for specific occasions. So.
Yeah, there could be a Halloween bundle on there or anything else. And you can always dig into the back catalog. Maybe we put in there something about being spooky or Halloween in the description. But yes, thank you for playing along with my bit. We did do the main event for Volume 2 was Halloween, the 1978 John Carpenter Halloween. Came out with it in July because we were not sure when.
We were just raring to go.
We just
for Halloween.
We want to do this episode, so we did.
That's right. So we did.
But now you can obviously listen to it every Halloween time to be able to get that done. So yes, a lot of episodes out there for you, hopefully in the future as well, that will be horrific, and you can continue to build our horror library, or Halloween library. And
Happy
we will...
Halloween!
Yes, thank you, Rachel. I've been Kevin.
And I'm Rachel!
Should we have horror names? What would it even be?
I don't know.
Like in The Simpsons. I'm
Red Rum Rachel. Huh?
Halloween.
Red Rum?
Yeah, I got it. That one's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
And this has been Shelf Life. We will see you next time.
What is your name?
Carly Beth?
Oh my gosh! They killed Feeny! Yeah!